Do you guys know why Xiaoyu is with those two?
Tekken 7 arcade ending.
That was setting something up. The actual key is the canonical pachinko machine that takes place between 7 and 8.
Why? What?
Hell yeah, brother.
What is the pachinko machine? The lore? Again, why is Japanese fighting games doing this? Three, two, one. So guys, are you enjoying Peacemaker and Invasion Season 4? Yep, that's how I'm gonna start it.
Too soon. That's too soon, Sonic.
What do you mean? Peacemaker is so fun.
Oh wait, by the
I'm
time this
enjoying
goes
his moves that came
live,
up.
okay. I thought
He
you
was
were
supposed to
making
be
fun
out
of the
last
delay.
I'm displeased with this introduction, Sonic. I will now use this weapon against you.
Oh my gosh, what is he gonna use? It's
a switchblade.
Well, it's not really switching out. Oh!
Oh, it's a code!
Oh, it's a go! Oh, that's adorable.
Of murder.
Damn, you've killed me of adorableness. Ah!
Oh no. Maybe Snake
So
has like that.
how was your weekend?
jutsu.
How have you guys been doing? I actually have a lot of life update stuff I could chat about before we get into. Despite us just then talking MK, this is the Tekken episode. Don't get clickbaited.
We then proceed to not talk about Tekken for 90 minutes. So let me skip to it first.
All right. Whoa! Whoa! Dun, 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 dun. Theme song. Our time is now. Shakes the camera. Ah! Tekken 8, new challenger.
Oh.
Dun, 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 dun.
Challenger.
What is that? Oh, you're trying to show your mask. I didn't see that. That's really
Nice.
cool. It's so dark.
That is cool. It's blue too, because Sub-Zero.
The blade of Hanzo.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for the Mortal Kombat 2.
Well,
But anyways-
you say that.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
assuming
that's
that-
what that's from.
That's
What
assuming
the
they
fuck
don't
is the
can the
Blade of
movie.
Hanzo?
In this day and age, you never know. It's a Warner Bros. Production. It could just get cancelled after being finished.
Who's the producer of this movie again? The Todd Howard? Is that what he's called?
Todd Howard is the Fallout guy.
Oh my gosh, wait, that's right. Todd Howard is the Fallout.
Yeah,
Who's
it's
the
Bethesda.
producer? Who's the producer of this movie?
Garner, I believe. Garner.
He's
If it
very
was Todd
hyping up
Howard,
this
then
movie.
these films would always succeed because that man's face alone gets people to buy stuff, even if he's had a bad track record recently, like 3 times in a row.
True.
And
True.
people are still like, I gotta buy it, Todd Howard.
Yes,
He
Todd
said it
Garner.
works. He said it works, guys. He wouldn't lie to us. He's Todd. He wouldn't lie when he said
just
it works.
And again, it just works.
But yeah, like he's been posting a lot of like behind the scenes. It's like filming is done. We're very hyped and stuff. If say the movie is like in a bad position of getting like shafted, I feel like he would be quiet for half a year, and then the news would come out about that. But yeah,
You say that, but do remember, Batgirl was done, pretty much.
well, they didn't say that. They didn't say anything about Batgirl. There's no promotion behind that, and then just like it was done and we canned it.
I kind of like.
I want to
man,
see Batgirl. I want to see that.
just like with the freaking MK Ultra girls, I still want to see it. Even if you
True.
don't give, I still want to see it, even if it's
MK
terrible.
Ultra Girls, Batgirl, and also now the Wile E. Coyote animation. I really not animation, the movie. I want to see that too.
Also, my
but
buddy sent me
anyways.
like a leak of Batman Beyond might be in the works, but an animated one. But that could
That's
just
been
be
on
like
recently,
lies.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
like Batman Beyond Spider-Verse style like screenshots. People are
Which
like,
was my idea, by the way. I had that idea first, but you know, it's whatever.
it's like
They
yeah, no
watch our
shit, we want to
podcast,
see
guys.
that.
They
The
watch
way
our
you said
podcast.
The way you said Batman Beyond Spider-Verse style just gave me the idea of Batman Beyond the Spider-Verse.
Okay, we gotta
Batman
stop-
Beyond the DC verse.
Stop getting off topic. We gotta
I wonder
get
how many
on.
DC
get on
fans don't know what
Tekken.
DC stands for.
We are.
Does Sonic know what DC stands for?
Of course I do. Does Snake know what DC stands for?
Well, like Washington,
I do.
DC.
He's Googling it. Stop him. He's finding it out. Y'all don't actually know.
Stop him!
That's so
Stop
funny.
him!
Yep. Oh, it's a Gundam. Stop him.
Stop him! And then Sub-Zero's like, "Brah!"
Yeah. Whoa. Y'all don't know what it stands for, huh? It stands for Detective Comics.
Of course
Oh,
we know
really?
what it's. Of course we know what it's. Wait, you didn't know?
Did you
I
know
knew.
it was
Yes, of course I knew.
Does he know?
maybe? Does it actually stand for Detective Comics?
Yeah. 'Cause that was like the biggest comic they had at the time, so they just named it after that. Because that's where Batman debuted.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Number like something. He was not in the
honestly,
first one. He
I
was
actually
Detective
didn't know
Comics number
that.
something. But yeah.
That's what it meant, actually. I really didn't know about that.
Back when he was armed and killed people, he snapped that guy's neck and kicked it.
It's like if Marvel had called themselves like Amazing Fantasy, because that's where Spider-Man debuted.
Yeah, amazing fantasy.
Okay, let's get back to the hype. Our time is now.
Oh yeah, cut that part out. Just back to Tekken. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we gotta get Tekken. By the way, what's the screenshot you sent here? Because I know about this game.
Oh, I wanted to post that way earlier because you had Pikmin, and I'm like, this is my Pikmin. Because you collect the little people, and they fight with you, and they build stuff, and they kill things.
I'm gonna tell my grandkids that this was Pikmin.
Yeah.
Okay, so
oh no! I just realized this image is the meme, like the girl on the couch. It's that same like meme format.
The girl on the couch.
You know the white girl on the couch with like 4 black guys behind her.
Oh, that's
that
hard to
same
tell,
joke meme
honestly.
format.
It is.
Yeah, only gooner minds can have something like that, honestly.
Yeah, dog. TrueUnderDawg. TrueUnderDawg
Are you
gooning.
edging
TrueUnderDawg
or
gooning.
are you gooning? Are you edging or are you gooning? So you do know the difference.
The thing is, I think
True
we're
under
gonna
the covers
go
gooning.
I think we're gonna go really in depth in the Tekken story. But before we get into that, let's talk about everything else, like what we thought about the game, or like the modes and all the other stuff in general. Like how are you guys?
It's a good game. I enjoy it a lot. I love the heat mechanic. I think it makes the game really fun. The only thing I don't like is that to balance the characters a bit better, they took some of their default stuff and now it's locked behind the heat. So you can't do some of their stuff in Tekken 7 unless you have heat activated. So a good example is like Yoshimitsu's flash parry is only like better in heat unless you, or you can put his sword away and he gets the better flash parry. But originally his flash parry, if you touch that thing, he always got a full combo. Now he doesn't, unless he's in heat or if he has the no sword stance. You know, little things like that. Asuka's plus frames are gone on a lot of her stuff, but it's because in heat she gets better moves that have plus frames and better situations. And it's like, oh, okay, I guess it's okay. But yeah.
So Snake, did you only play the story mode, or did you actually like play a bit other into?
I did the story mode, and then I did Asuka's story thing.
Oh, her episode.
Yay!
Yeah, and that's it.
Her arcade. That's it?
I bet you were so happy about that ending. It definitely was breaking news.
Wait, I got a
around.
question then. Have you seen the other endings then?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay. I guess we can talk about that another time.
Fortunately, Fortunately, I was already told by people that Asuka was not handled well in the game, so I didn't expect much. And yeah, so someone even said to me, "Oh, you're gonna do a wasted potential on her," and I'm like, "I did that after 7. Nothing has changed."
No, depends on how much you. It depends on how you want to depict how you feel about that. It's like nothing's changed, but at the same time, they know her last name. It's just we're not gonna do anything with it.
Yeah,
look at the story.
It's astounding. And then you had Harada commenting about the people saying,
"Oh yes,
why does the team hate Asuka?" And then he goes on a completely disconnected tirade about how she's a really good representation of this like particular style of comedy and like people from Osaka and the way she talks. And it's like, my guy, no one gives a fuck about that. We talk about the fact that her name is Kazuma. She's related to the main character. She was introduced in a way that clearly set up she's going to have a big role with her powers and everything. Her story in 5 was about her and Jin. It wasn't about Feng Wei. Feng Wei was just an excuse to get her there. The actual story was about meeting Jin, and then they just disregarded it to put her in this arc with Lily that has gone nowhere. Nothing new has happened with Lily since the two first came together in 6. Their endings in 6, Tag 2, 7 and 8 are basically the same thing every time. That's why people have a problem with the way Asuka's treated, Harada. No one cares about how she talks.
4 games in a row, baby. 4 games in a row. Same ending.
Because some people might not understand the context here. There was a tweet of basically showing Asuka like one scene she was in the story mode, and it's just like, oh, look how they're treating her or something like that. Was like, and it's basically the joke where she's like, Hua-Ring sees her and is like, "Aren't you like Jin's like sister or something?" And then Asuka is like, "Thank you so much for taking my brother." Wait, that's not right. Stuff like that. That was the
Well, she's
joke.
teasing him, but yeah, like she's messing with him. But that was still cool.
And actually, I like that joke. It's funny, but
yeah, I like that part.
Harada took
I
that
don't know,
joke and was like, had to be like, okay, so culturally speaking, people will get confused and they will say this in where Asuka's from in Japan, and it's like he gives his whole entire speech, and it's like, oh, that's very interesting. Thanks for talking about that and explaining that. That ain't the thing we're talking about, though. That ain't the thing we're complaining about. I think everybody here knows exactly what we're talking about for Asuka, but he went on a different thing about her, and that was funny.
I want you to think about every scene Asuka has been in post 5. Every single one, every ending, every story scene. I think Lars's Tag 2 ending is the only time we've seen Asuka where Lily was not also there.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only one. Even in Cross Tekken, the two were paired up together. And then that trailer where they're fighting Chun-Li and Cammy ends up becoming more about Lily in the end. And Asuka has no story. It's just Lily, and she's there to support Lily, if anything. And it's
well, support. We're rivals. I don't like you, huh? And like supports
and that's
her.
Because it's just a really cheap knockoff of Karin and Sakura in Street Fighter, but they have like development. They become friends, and they have like this friendly rivalry. Whereas Asuka can't stand Lily, but is constantly saddled with her and has nothing else to do outside of her relationship with Lily.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
you know what's even worse, Snake? It's not just that. Have you seen what happens if you have Fang and Asuka fight each other in Tekken 8? They have like a unique intro dialogue.
Oh, there's a unique one.
No.
Yeah.
And Asuka says, "We finally meet." So even none of that's canon. She still never met Fang, apparently, in the actual canon of Tekken.
Oh.
Despite her meeting him in several arcade endings. And also, like...
And also in that
they used that in the trailer, like the story trailer. They used that intro to make it seem like she would confront him in story mode.
They did?
And she doesn't.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
But, and also, if that's an intro dialogue, that technically isn't also canon either, since that's an intro dialogue. Some of the intro dialogues are canon because they literally do use them in the story mode, but that one is not. But yeah, we can talk about the arcade endings like another time because we'll wait for Snake for that, because I got something I can say, but that can be a whole entire.
What's the structure, Sonic? What are we going to talk in what order so we know to stay on task?
I want to talk about. I played a lot of Tekken myself too, and well, first off, I finished Arcade Quest, so that's one thing I did. But more importantly, I played the legendary mode known as Online. Dun dun dun! I actually tried that out. Man, I gotta say, Tekken is very fucking fun. Like I'm actually really enjoying the like this way of fighting in a way, because it's like I don't know, I don't usually play 3-dimensional like fighting games. A long time ago I did, but so like there's a lot of like plays to be made. It's not just about trying to get combos. It's about, okay, use this move because of reasonings, and use this move and try to like connect it and see something happening. It's about like trading moves and seeing like what would work. I'm explaining this horribly, but I'm having like a lot of fun. And for me, I've been playing ranked, and since the last episode I talked about the character that I've been playing was Victor. So
well, no wonder you're having fun. You have a character with like 70 different things helping him out. Yeah, I got you.
So I watched a video of someone talking about like friendly like beginner like characters, and this is like I think the day one or like the day before the game came out, and they were saying like, yes, Victor, I would say this is a intermediate character. You gotta like expect a lot of what your opponent does. You gotta like do a lot of like predicting and stuff, and maybe some of the commands are hard. And now that the game is out for 2 weeks, oh no, Victor is the easiest character to play. Yeah. He is the most brain dead character to play in the game. You press like 2-3 times and that's a combo, and like half the people can't handle that. I'm like, oh wow, I didn't know I was playing this kind of character. But currently I'm having a lot of fun with Victor. Every move he does is very flashy. After the last podcast, someone heard like when I said I like playing Victor, someone drew this.
See, that made me worry. Oh, someone drew this. I was like, oh god, where's this going?
Oh my god.
See, I find it funny because like, he has the karambit, and that's his big thing in core gameplay. And it's like, yeah, a guy with grey hair and a karambit and like these big flashy ninja moves. It's like, imagine if after the next MK game, all the cyber initiative tech got taken by the Shiryu, and they're like, let's do minor upgrades, and this is what Smoke is like. But by the time they do the next generation,
Yeah.
That'd be a little,
he's got minor tech stuff. He's got teleports and whatnot. He's got like a nice fashionable suit, and it's like that's what Smoke is.
Are you kidding me with this? It's like
I just realized something. It makes me a bit.
got it.
Wow. Oh, I thought you were bleeding, but you just killed it. Okay.
Yeah, killed a stupid mosquito.
I just realized something too. I wonder if this is why Lee doesn't have his like suit by default, because this suit would look like way too similar to what Victor is wearing.
Well,
so they have
that's
to change like Lee's default to like that weird techno thing.
People said that like as soon as the characters were shown off, that Lee and Victor's outfits would make way more sense on each other.
Yes, they would. Yeah.
Oh,
It would have
by
made
the
Victor.
way,
Well, Victor looks cool if you make him cosplay as like Metal Gear Solid Snake, or make him cosplay
Yeah.
as Striker. Then he's suddenly a
there's
cool
like
character.
so many cosplays, and someone making him like Dante. By the way, this is how I looked when I was playing ranked for like the past week.
That's good.
Yeah.
So good. I had to
He looks so
find
much
like
better with like regular hair and not gray hair. Sorry, go ahead.
well, I mean, he's old, so.
No, I'm just saying from a
But-
character design standpoint, if they had just given him normal hair, he would have looked like so much cooler to me, like as an initial impression.
I disagree. I think cool old man is like the vibe they were going for. So I'd say. I see you're trying to do the pose.
Old people aren't cool, Sonic.
Because if
Wow.
you may notice, that I'm pretty sure it's
Yeah,
the
you
same
said
kind
it.
of it's the same kind of pistol that Leon has in Resi 4. So you could easily make you probably make a decent Leon if you can get the right gear.
You can because of the jacket. The Resi 4 jacket is like used by many characters. There's a lot of fun customizations you can do in this game. But yeah, I basically I wanted to play more, but like I was very busy with the video recently, so I could only get Victor up to Warrior because I knew that like from that point
You
on
suck.
it gets like more.
No, I'm just kidding.
Jeez. Yeah, actually, I'm curious about like you Tekken veterans. Like, I'm pretty sure in the past you totally can like drop down like in ranked from like first dan, right? Or
You
second
can't
dan
drop
and stuff.
down once in Tekken 7. I'm pretty sure once you reach blue rank, you could never get below blue rank. And then
Okay.
once you reached green rank, you were safe. But then from then on, you could always go back down. Like if you were in yellows, you could still be demoted down to green rank. But don't quote me on that. I totally forget because I played Tekken with a bunch of skilled players. I almost never did ranked, but all my buddies were like purples, reds, and like blues, and I never went in ranked. I just played with them because that was more fun. To me.
Okay. Yeah, so
and it's very
like
similar in Tekken 8. I should probably be in red rank by now, but I'm just playing my buddy who's already like a blue. He's probably purple by now.
well,
I
Fujin's
just play
pretty
him
high.
because that's more fun to me than just playing. But it
Ah.
is fun. It is a power trip though to play ranked and just like completely body people. But the downside is they don't rematch you when you do that.
Oh, that's right. It's best out of 3. My favorite
Mm-hmm.
matches are like the best out of 3. It's like I win one, and then they win one, and it's like, all right, it's time for the final match. Let's see who can win this. Those are always like really fun.
Yeah.
A lot of the top 10 most popular characters, I've basically just been meeting them. I don't think I've met anybody weird. So it's like 3 Reinas, like Victors, Huarangs, so many Lilies. Like
Oh yeah, have you
I
seen the
met a-
chart or not?
I did. It's actually very interesting to see who the top 10 most popular characters are like right now, and that's all the people I met. I never met any like Leroy's or Leos and Shaheens and stuff. So it's quite accurate.
That's true. I fought a Shaheen. I have not fought a Leroy.
I have fought. I fought a Devil Jin who turned on the special controls like the full time, and I was like, oh shit, this guy actually is bringing this in the rig. That's very funny. And the funniest thing is, this is how he played. I combo him. He's almost dead. Heat burst, Ragear.
Yep.
Okay, I'm done.
That is the only thing I don't like about the game is like a lot of the tools, they're not meant to be like they can be used that way, of course. And they're slightly meant to be a
this is
panic
the
button
ranked
if you need them.
distribution.
This I find interesting, this chart too, I'll talk about in a second. But yeah, that's my only gripe with the game is that like when you put someone low on life, a beginner, once you're in those green ranks, they're gonna start just like spamming heat and then spamming rage art because there's 2 different like panic buttons that they can use. And if
Yeah.
you're a veteran of Tekken, you're like, dude, just sidestep and do a button. Like there's so many characters that have like a sidestep button that like crushes and is like a panic button. Just use that. That's what that or use an armor move. But then they're like, no, I
Power
gotta
crush.
use super.
Super, I've noticed the higher up you are, the less you use super, because it's like, if you use super with like literally 1 HP, you'll die. So that's actually like a detriment to use super in that case. But if you're like close to 20% HP and then use super, that's probably when I usually see it. But like when you're almost dying, it's like there's no point. You gotta like really fight and stuff.
There's
so that's
only
like,
two
oh yeah, I
reasons
want you to
to
use
like.
super here.
Yeah, because super. There's two reasons why you won't see it. Like the higher up you get, you're gonna see it even less because unless it wins the round, it also leaves the opponent further from you, so it's like a disadvantageous situation. A skilled Tekken player will end the combo not for max damage. They'll end the combo so that you're left right next to them, and usually in a really bad get-up situation. Like for example, when I play Asuka, I can choose to end the combo in a way that leaves you close to me, but also you're on your stomach and your head is like towards me, which limits your wake-up options and probably gives me a free hit if you get up wrong. And so that's like what people will do. And so the super removes all that meta. It knocks them like too far away, and you can't get like guaranteed pressure, which is called Oki. So you can't get pressure with Oki. And yeah, my friend keeps abusing all those free hits, and it makes me salty as heck whenever he lands. I'm like, you got me with the tech roll setup or whatever. Because sometimes there's guaranteed hits. Sometimes there's just like, if you get up this one specific way, you can avoid it. But if you don't know that one way to get up, then you get hit by this guaranteed. And it's like,
I remember I saw your videos where it's like using Asuka, and it's like this one opponent kept using the because when you get knocked down, you can tech it and roll and instantly get up, and that's usually the best way to do it. But it's like you knew he was doing that all the time, so you kept like, you can't tech bro, kick, can't tech bro, kick, can't tech bro, and he just dies from that.
That's how you're supposed to play Tekken.
Mm-hmm. Oh, teching. I got you, like tech roll, Tekken. Nice, yeah. Can you tech the throw? Can you break the throw? No, they can't, by the way. That's why everyone's so mad at King right now, which is cracking me up, because King's always been seen as like a mid-tier or low-tier character, but everyone hates him in 8.
Yeah, because they just can't handle him right now. I met like 3 Kings. They don't know how to break throws.
They don't want to deal with it. Yeah.
One that really sucks, one that was actually pretty decent, and one that just kills me in like a minute because I couldn't handle anything he was doing. I'm like, oh, yeah, I probably should learn how to handle King.
Oh yeah, if you fought my friend, King's his favorite character, and he can use like 8 different characters. They're all in red rank already, like all of his characters.
Wow.
But he loves Tekken so much. I wish I was as passionate about any one thing as he is about Tekken, because he's just like really enjoying himself. He was even in red rank with Zafina, and she's considered like the
low tier,
one of the worst or one of the least used characters, and he's like got her at the high ranks too. But yeah, this chart is cool. I'll talk about it for a split second. I put a chart in the Discord chat. This shows that a huge chunk of players have actually reached red rank, which is cool. It shows that a lot of people are sticking with it, and it also tells me that the game's not too punishing if you lose, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to get to red rank. So
yeah, I'm gonna try to get to red rank because that's like where a lot of people are. But at least from what I've played, it's like I lost to someone in yellow when I just got there. I only lost about like 80 points, but that could just be because I lost to someone who was very low there. But I'm not too sure. It's like maybe it isn't that punishing to like lose.
That is the only thing I don't like about Tekken 8's ranking system, is they brought back a thing that I believe should die off, which is if you get paired with somebody, first off, you can't tell their rank before you fight, which is good because people would just like keep canceling, right? But what I hate is that if you lose to somebody who's like a lower rank, it's more penalizing. Or if you beat them, your XP earned is not as high. And I think that's stupid, because if you ran into me, for example, Sonic, I'm like still in the yellow ranks. If you bumped into me, you might get trashed. that's not fair to you, just because I don't play ranked very much, right?
Yeah,
but it's not always representative of your skill level. I think a win should be a win, like the same points each time, and a loss should be a loss, same points each time.
I was in like the beginning of the green rank, and then I think I fought someone who was like the back of the yellow rank, and I was like, the heck? Why am I fighting against this high up of a Hua rank? Oh, he sucks. Okay, I'm totally fine fighting him. Yay, 600 points! Wow!
There you go. Hua rank players are infamously button mashers, not the skilled ones, but like he's a very beginner-friendly character if you mash, kind of like Eddie Gordo. And once you learn that, you just like power crush a lot of their stuff, and they don't know what to think anymore. They're like, huh?
Yeah, there are 2 types of players. One is
mash?
mashers. Yeah. They just whatever they do, they just mash. So I'm like, okay, power crush. Do safe moves against them when it's like that's not safe for them and stuff. And then there's another type of player who just blocks everything. So I'm like, okay,
just walks back slowly.
Hit low, grab. And then there's like the third type is actually pretty fucking good players. Wait, you teched my grab in green rank? What the hell? You can do that? You tech? Oh.
That's why you do the 1+2 throws. You gotta do the 2 arm breaks.
That's all I do is the 1+2 throws, because that's the one that's hard to
tech. You're like,
yeah. Oh, they know it.
Oh, get all scared.
I'm having a blast with Tekken, but like due to my videos and then Pikmin, it's really hard to balance time to like find time to play. But I have still tried to play enough to talk about it on this podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my gameplay stuff. Oh, Arcade Quest, it's cute. If you want to like learn how to play Tekken, I wouldn't say it's 100% like the best because I just looked up a guide and like I just followed the guide. Okay, this is how you play this character. Okay, that I learned all that and like I went to training mode for like almost 2 hours just learning a character or 3. But the Arcade Quest does give you a lot of basics in terms of like it's teaching you the basics while also giving you a very cute you're going to the arcade and fighting kind of story. It's very funny. I find the final boss of that story mode to be probably like one of the easiest computers when I went up against them. It's kind of funny.
Well, not to rain on your parade or anything, but this one guy already proved that the AI is pretty bad in Arcade Quest. So it's like they kind of expect you to beat it. Like they want it to be, beatable. Because he just did down forward 1 the whole time and was winning. Like the AI didn't know what to do. Which is funny because when I played it at the early playtest, I thought that one guy who's like a jerk in his head but pretends to be nice out loud, the blonde guy who's like, hey, I'm going to crush you, and he plays Steve.
Oh yeah, I remember him.
He gave me kind of a tough time when I first fought him. He didn't beat me, but he got a round or 2 on me, and I was like, oh, snap.
How many freaking mosquitoes are in here? You talk for like 10 seconds. I'm going to turn on the AC just to stop.
I talk for 10 seconds. Okay. Snake, who's your favorite character to play in Tekken right now?
Devil Jin.
Nice. Yeah, Devil Jin's pretty dang cool. You little edgelord. You would like Devil Jin.
Yeah, pretty much. Ever since 5 and Dark Resurrection, he's been my go-to. I'm also rather fond of Base Jin.
Didn't you say you're a Devil Jin main?
Yeah.
I think you'll like him in this. He's very flashy in this game.
I used to like playing as Asuka before they brought Jun back in Tag 2, and then they like kind of split the moves between the two, and now I just don't like her playstyle as much anymore. It's kind of like when they brought Siegfried back in Soul Calibur 3, and because he and Nightmare had the same moveset in the early games, but then for 3 they split the moveset roughly like 70-30 in Siegfried's favour. So he still plays a lot like Soul Calibur 2 Nightmare, and so like both are still fun to play as, which is like the ideal outcome. But and it also works for storytelling because the new Nightmare is not Siegfried, so he's not going to play like Siegfried. But then with Asuka, I feel like a lot of the stuff I liked about Asuka just probably went to June instead, so I don't like her playstyle so much anymore.
Would you consider June in this game then? Like if you're...
Maybe. One of the problems I have is that I know how the characters play in Tekken 5 very well because I played a ton of Dark Resurrection on PSP back in the day, but the moveset's obviously changed since then, and I'd not played that much of 6, Tag 2, or 7. Especially at least comparatively, so a lot of the moveset changes are stuff I'm not familiar with, and so some of the characters just feel very different in this game, and so it's hard to say which ones I would actually stick with, other than the fact that. But I have a good grasp on Jin and Devil Jin because you play so much of them in the story mode.
True.
Yeah.
Jin actually I did hear is way easier because he's one of the hardest characters in the last game, but in this game they're like, oh, we're gonna make him very beginner friendly for like his combos and stuff. So that might be a pretty good character to pick up.
I think you would like June, Snake. She's got an interestingly fun gimmick where she can take Gray Life, like she damages herself, but it's recoverable damage, to do a extension of an attack. And it can either be used to get more damaging extensions and combos, or it can keep her safe after moves that would normally leave her punishable. Like this Beam of Light just comes out, and like it does a little bit of damage to her Gray Life, but she can recover the Gray Life with different moves. Or Heat also recovers her Gray Life with a lot of attacks. So
I always notice she heals, but I never noticed she cut her own life. Actually, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it gets a little bit of Gray Life with a lot of those bing. Whenever a little beam comes down, she goes pwing, with a little sound effect. That's her getting a buff. Also, she has a bunch of little stances, but they happen very naturally. Like she'll be hitting the opponent, and she'll go into a quick stance, and you can do a little thing out of it. So that's fun too.
I'm kind of surprised. I'm surprised MK doesn't do like recoverable health, considering how many characters are sorcerers and have magic.
Natara has 1, but that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
They didn't go hard enough with that.
You think it'd be like a more common thing, like, oh, here's the thing where Shang Tsung can heal himself, but it leaves him vulnerable while he's doing it, and so you risk getting another hit from that. And then maybe it's like if you get hit during that move, you lose that recoverable health. completely. You know, like, I'm surprised it's not more like that. You know, to embrace the magic of this of the setting instead of just everyone just beats each other up, and that's as far as the thought process goes.
Yeah.
Well,
and even though I really do like the movesets in MK1 for the most part, but I do agree with some characters they didn't like see it through enough. Like Natara, for Pete's sake, cuts herself open during her intro, so you'd think like a big part of her gameplay was like constantly harming herself to get a buff or something, but she just has the one, and you're like, oh, well,
she's mostly
that's
about
something
flying.
at least. But also,
I do think like
Snake,
Shang
you're not
and
unfounded.
Quan are different though. You know, Tentacle summoning Quan, and then Shang has got the claws. I do wish Shang leaned more into the science gimmick, because in his bio it says, oh, he's embracing magic and science, like he's alchemy and stuff. And you see like he's got like in the intros or like the victory animations, he's got the drinking like poison bottles they uses in the fatality and stuff. But he barely uses that in the moveset though. So I kind of wish they did more of that.
I hope they didn't lay off on it so that Titan Shang Tsung wouldn't make sense if he showed up doing the same stuff. I hope that's not the reason why.
Well, Titan Shang Tsung can't turn old, so who knows what was that?
Yeah. The turning old doesn't even make sense either, because he's never canonically old in the new timeline. But yeah,
I got a whole rant about that too in my video. It's just like,
you better make a Hunter x Hunter reference, because that was my joke. So the main character in Hunter x Hunter has that one ability where he can age himself forward, right, to get his abilities and all that, like to be his most powerful self. Where he gets buff and his hair gets really tall.
Yeah, I didn't know that was aging up though. If you're talking about aging up, I was thinking about that other show actually, the one with like the little gremlin guy with a gun or something. But is that aging though? Is that related to aging?
I haven't watched enough Hunter x Hunter, but I'm pretty sure that's what he's doing, is like fast forwarding to when he had those abilities, which is why he gets stronger.
He looks a lot older.
Doesn't he get smarter too though? Like his personality changes also?
I haven't watched to that point yet, but I do know that he has that upgrade, yeah. So I have no idea, actually.
I was joking that that's what Shang Tsung is doing. He's fast-forwarding himself to like further in the future, to where he has a different mastery of spells, and that's why he gets different moves when he's in his old form, but that's never stated, which is why it's even funnier to pretend that he's just playing dress-up. Like he's using magic just to dress up as an old guy.
It's like that would have made a lot of sense, considering that who is it that that Titan Shang Tsung is pretending to be? Kronika.
What was Damashi?
Yeah, but it's like because of it's Kronika, the time person. So it could have easily been, he gets like some kind of time power from her, and then that's why he can turn old, and it is for that exact reason. But no, it's just he does it because that's what he used to do, technically, kind of, but not really. It's an old thing, even though it makes no sense for this setting.
It's it's definitely a weird decision. I'm still kind of thinking like, why? Other than, is that only for a referencing reasoning for this gameplay change? Is that?
I really do think that it's just for the players. They did say, I think one time in the Kombat cast, they were like, oh well, some people prefer old Shang Tsung and some people prefer when he's younger, so we wanted to give you both. So I think it really is just like a nice thing to the fans, which is cool.
Yeah. Exactly, just turn it into a costume.
Make that the Good Alliance version. The Good Alliance version is like a wise old master type character. And there you go.
Back to Tekken 8. I wanted to make a joke for you, Snake. You find this funny. So, because Snake knows the lore of Tekken. So, for anyone not watching, we'll catch up to speed here. So, in Tekken 3, it was pretty clear that Jin was supposed to replace Kazuya, because he had died in Tekken 2.
Gotcha,
and also they kind of wanted to revive with the series with a new protagonist, right? A more generic good guy protagonist with some darkness in him, but not just actually bad guy anti-hero like Kazuya was. So Jin got all of Kazuya's moves plus some other stuff, right? But then in 4, they brought Kazuya back. That was the big twist, like, I lived, bitch. And so it's like, oh no, we can't have two characters with like near identical movesets, but we don't want to write Jin out of the story. So what they said was, when Jin was like betrayed by Heihachi and all that, and learned about the evil lineage of his his ancestors, he decided to just fully lean into his mom's fighting style instead. So his new style is like Kazuma style, not Heihachi's and Kazuya's style. Right, makes sense.
Actually, what he did was he went and learned a whole new style, which is traditional karate. It's not the Kazuma style. That's why they're able to. That's why they're able to bring Asuka back in the next game.
Shit, my bad. Well, that makes more sense then.
Really?
Because I was misunderstood then. Because I was gonna make the joke that all I knew, I think, is that he unlearned the Heihachi style. So I thought he just went back to full Kazuma. And also maybe Bloodlines confused me because in Bloodlines he's doing some of the Kazuma style in that final fight. But anyway, I was gonna make a joke about that because now that June's back, June's fighting style is like a bit different now. Like she has more unique stances and like her animations are more her own and not so much copying Asuka as much. Though she still has a lot of Asuka's moves. She's very elegant and dancey. So I thought, how funny would it have been if Jin's like, I'm going to finally just master my mom's technique. He's like doing that in the fights, like doing his little dainty like hand stuff.
I mean, there are certain animations at a certain point in the story where he's doing some of these moves, and it looks really like one of them is a particular move where like every time you nail Kazuya with it, he'll just like it does the slow motion thing, and so he's like a weird thing. It doesn't look quite right, and so I mean you've put it in slow motion, touch. It really highlights how silly it looks.
But right before we get into the story, we have one more thing we can talk about Tekken, because recently there was a giant Tekken update, and there's a lot of things that are coming to the game. I forgot, I can find the list, but one of the big topics that people are mentioning, other than DLC, is the Tekken Shop, which are going to be putting in old Tekken costumes in there for sale with real money, and that's been kind of stirring a bit of a storm. What do you guys think about this Tekken Shop topic?
But I appreciate that the costumes they have a bit of variety in them. It's not just all from the same game, which is I feel like the way most stuff does. Like Street Fighter 2. Unless the character wasn't into it, then it'd be like Alpha, what have you. With MK, typically it's the original trilogy. Now it's like Deadly Alliance and Deception. You want some variety, but here it's like we got Xiaoyu and Jin from 4, Jun from Tag 2. Kazuya's from 6.
Oh, that's 6. Oh, right. Okay.
And that's just the 4 I've seen. I'm sure there'll be more, and I'm sure we'll also get like a Heihachi outfit for Reina or something like that.
Oh, I'd love that. Yeah, that'd be really fun.
So we've seen stuff like that. So there is some good variety there, and of course there's the subject of the prices, because they actually, I'm not sure how much they are, but they are much more fairly priced than either of its two main competitors. I mean, I still think that's still too much for one costume, but I'll take it over whatever the fuck the two competitors are doing. Like holy shit!
Street Fighter's about the same price. It's just you're forced to buy 2 if you want to buy 1. The one is $5. It said you have to pay like $10 to get enough coins to buy that one, so you have to buy 2. That's what made people be like, eh. But it's like it's around the same price. MK is 1 for 10. That's the one that's like, okay. And also, I'd like to make a point about the Tekken part. You see, Tekken already has an insane amount of customization for your characters in-game for free. And the amount that you can customize is huge. So with like such a big library of things that you can put onto your characters, I'm kind of more fine when it's just like, oh, you want more? But you can have more DLC. And it's like, oh, that's great. I already have this buffet, but you're actually offering more. That's awesome. Where it's like in Street Fighter, it's like you have one costume. So it's like, yeah, no shit, I want that other costume because the options were very limited. I don't know if that's a weird take of saying it's like because the game itself has already so much, it's already so like great on the customization part that I do not mind like you can pay for more if you wanted to.
That makes sense. The only issue my buddy has is he said that from what he's seen of the footage, it looks like you can't mix and match the store stuff. So like if you buy June's classic outfit, you can't wear just the top. You have to wear the whole thing. And that makes him a bit sad. He wanted to be able to like mix and match the parts like he could in Soul Calibur.
Aren't the costumes like that anyway?
Yes. So there's two kinds.
For the most part, yeah.
You wear a full suit. For example, like the Victor costume that I showed just then, the Force Snake, that's a full suit one, where it's like you can actually unlock that, but you cannot change the pants, the shoes, or the clothes. But you can, if you choose that, then it will only change the clothes and the pants and the shoes, and you make your own character. That's how you get like Leon, like jacket and stuff. But you can still change the color for everything. That's how I made you look like Red. And also, you can still customize whatever's on your head. That doesn't affect with the body part. So for example,
it is consistent.
Dragunov has a costume where he has like a snow like combat jacket with like a mask outfit and like a visor. And I actually think that one looks really cool. But I saw a video where Maximilian was like, you know what? I don't like the mask. If it doesn't have the mask, I think that would be better. You can do that. Like that's literally an option that you can do. You can just take the mask off because the mask and the body part are separate. It's kind of like I do not like Li Xiaolong's new like armor suit, but you can wear like the rebel helmet and literally it will like be the whole entire suit. And I'll be like, it covers his face and it doesn't fit Li, but at least that looks better than just like the half visor look that he has. So it's like, okay, you can do that changes. So you can make a lot of changes with like the color alone, and it's very detailed. So that part I really appreciate.
Yeah, it is consistent, but I think what my buddy was getting at is that because you're paying for it, he was hoping that you could like segment it and like, you know, get more custom with it. Because in Soul Calibur 6 or maybe it's 5, they added a Tekken pack, and you could actually mix and match the parts. So he kind of was hoping that they would do that.
Plus,
I even joked, like, when he first revealed that, I was like, Tekken did it. I mean, Soul Calibur did it better because they did like literal Tekken DLC costumes.
Soul Calibur is king in this, literally.
It is. Yeah.
Soul Calibur also has you can actually mix and match the parts for the characters' costumes, and at least in the PSP one, I forget if 6 can do it as well. But you can actually give some of those costume pieces to other characters.
Yeah, that'd be awesome if you could do that, but not in this game.
I don't know why. You really should be able to do. Like, imagine giving like just dress Jin up as June. Why not? Let's go for it. Come on, guys.
You can, however, every like male or female character can wear like you can choose the exact same default outfits because it's like there's the full suit outfits. Those you can't give to other characters. But if you're just choosing like the shirt, the pants, and the shoes. All the males can use like the same ones as long as it's not like a weird body type like Kuma and stuff, or if it's like Yoshimitsu is not trying to show his skin, but like everybody can. That's why it's like I've seen people make like we just talked about the Leon jacket. Every male character can wear the Leon jacket basically, so that part is universal, which is kind of nice.
One more thing I wanted to say that hopefully this doesn't happen, but it's one more thing people are worried about. We haven't seen what increments you can buy the Tekken coins in, or whatever the in-game currency is called. So, like, if they make you buy it and, like, say it's $4 technically, right? But they have you buy it in, like, $6 increments, it's like, oh, no.
Now they're going to do the Street Fighter thing again, yeah.
Yeah.
Hope it's not like that.
Well, even Mortal Kombat's guilty of that sin, too.
MK2.
They make you buy it in increments, yeah. And we've mentioned it before, but it's worth repeating. There's 2 reasons why companies do this. One is, like, obvious. The other one's kind of malicious, in my opinion. The first reason they do it is because they want you to spend more initially. So like even if you only buy one costume, you spent more than you intended to, right? And like if you want to buy another costume, I just barely don't have enough. I got to spend more than I wanted to. That's reason number 1. But reason number 2 is malicious in my opinion. It's the same reason that casinos give you coins.
One is already malicious, what the fuck?
The one is malicious too. You're right. What I meant is the second one is more like subtext. Like it's an unconscious thing that you don't know about. Because casinos do this too. When you want to gamble, they have you turn your money in for these little tokens, and that's because you don't associate the tokens as much as real money. So like if you lost $40, like 40 straight dollars, like the actual currency, you'd be more likely to stop gambling than if you just lost 3 tokens, right? Because your brain doesn't associate it as well. You know, if that makes sense. So when they convert your money into Tekken coins, you're like, oh, I don't mind losing 500 Tekken coins because you've already forgotten that that's like $5. You know what I mean? Like you're not associating it the same. And it's very subternal though.
That'd also be a reason why, for example, you might say $10 for 800 of this currency, because if it is, if it was 1,000, it's a much clearer connection between the two. Whereas if it's 800, then it's like, oh well, you in your mind you think it's less. You think it's $8, or you just don't even think about it. Whereas in reality, it's more because, and that's. I mean, this goes back all the way to the days of like Microsoft points, because it was like that too. It was like 400 was £5, so 800 is 10. So it tries to trick you. It's like the same kind of psychology as when you see something 99. It's not $10. It's $9.99. So because in your head, you're thinking of it as 9. It's not even 10. It's less. So and the higher you go, the more it seems like it's not 2,000. It's $1,999.99. So that first digit is 1. So it feels way smaller, even though it's literally 1 cent difference. And that's the psychology of it all.
Yeah, and thankfully, I haven't seen any modern fighting games do that yet. It's been pretty clear, right? Like $10 to 1,000 dragon crystals. Like, it's directly, I think, correlated.
Is it?
But if they did do that, it's super confusing.
I forgot if it was 12.
No, what I mean is, like,
I see it
it
in
might be for
my
a discount.
money,
What I mean
so
is,
don't know
like,
about
I'm
you
pretty
guys.
sure that 500 should be $5. Like, if you were to do the actual math on it. Unless they offer discounts of some bundle.
There is like a first-time spending bundle, if I'm not mistaken, for the dragon crystals.
Yeah, but what Snake's saying would be extra like dirty to like give you less for the money, because then you'd forget how much you actually have. Like, that's when they make you do math to remember, is also another way to disassociate your money from the currency in the game, which hopefully they don't do that. I'm pretty sure that everyone else has been consistent so far.
Yeah. Hopefully Tekken will be the shining beacon of what to do right. Well, then again, there's also the fact that there's the argument that any microtransaction in these type of games is just not good, and I can understand that, because even though Tekken, out of the 3 big fighting games, is currently looking like the best at this microtransaction part, it's still the fact that there's microtransaction in a $70 game, and that still pisses some people off, and I can understand that aspect if you still would not support this stuff. But yeah, I'm just saying, I personally think this game, in my book, is way better, and also because the customization is so free and so well done that I'm okay with adding like more stuff into it if you have to pay for it.
And listen, Tekken kind of needs to have microtransactions, and I'm here for it only because that game series has almost died like 3 times now. So if microtransactions are what we need to keep it alive, then it's okay. As long as it's not going to give you an edge in gameplay, I've always been pretty okay with it. And also, as long as you can prove that it was made post-release is also a big deal for me, which most of the time it's not anymore. Like, it's very possible a lot of these costumes were already done, and they're just selling them to you now, which... it does
seem like they have everything prepared. Like, they got a roadmap. Like, they're very, very ready to, like, get the content out. Unlike another game.
This one feels like... because this one's the first one to actually skip arcades entirely and go straight to consoles.
Yes.
And so they don't have the arcade revenue. Which is, that's a problem, but it's also been beneficial, of course, because it means the game comes right out on consoles immediately. I know it's been 7 years since Tekken 7, but it still comes out straight away, as opposed to the way it used to be, where they'd be like, okay, here's the first... I mean, 5, it was here's the normal release, console release, the enhanced release, and the enhanced console release. And then in Tag 2, it was like, here's the normal release, then we enhance it, and then we put that on consoles. And 7 did the same. So like, the original release of 7 was in like 2014, I think. It took like 3 years to get through the enhanced version, which finally brought back Nina and Jin. They weren't in the base version at all. And then and then the console version finally comes out with, like, based on that version, which is also good because the base version of 7, all the costumes were just the ones from like 5 and 6 again.
Yeah, I think they put 6 costumes in this, and then that, and then in this game, it's like they make sure everybody gets 7 costumes. So I think that's like a tradition. It's like, oh, you don't like the new design? Don't worry about it. 7 design, and 7 is like, you don't like 7 design? Well, don't worry about it. 6 is here.
I do miss the day.
The story exists because I don't like Nina's Tekken 7 outfit, the wedding dress. I was like, oh,
the wedding dress.
It's my least favorite of her costumes as far as iconic. It's not a bad costume. It's just like I would rather have any of her other Tekken outfits. And then it's like,
it
the
seems
store
more
will
like
be okay.
a funny costume because, you know, wedding dress. Yeah. Oh, that means Anna's gonna get the widow dress if she comes back, huh?
DLC again, damn it! One of my mains is DLC again. 2 games in a row.
Well, I mean, I don't know when she's coming back. She'll definitely be back.
I gotta take a bathroom break, guys. I don't know if y'all want to take a break too, since I'm
you know
going,
what? Let's
but
do that.
I gotta go.
We're gonna get ready to totally shit talk. I mean, discuss Tekken 8 story mode, and that's gonna be a lot of fun. Yeah. I was not expecting to be the first one back, but since I am, hey guys, welcome to my Elden Ring reaction video. Watch that. Oh, there we go. 3-minute reaction video. Here we go. Shadow of the Erdtree. Oh, I'm so excited for this. Oh, we're here. Okay.
And radiant, he wields love to shrive clean the hearts.
Oh, that makes sense because it's yeah. That character was brought here, the blonde hair.
There is nothing more terrifying.
Oh gosh, you have to beat this boss in order to come here. Good luck to the people who have no idea what's how to beat this guy. Oh, are we actually gonna enter the mind, the dream world? Is that like the theory? I have no idea if that's actually gonna happen. Oh, I'm so looking forward to coming back to this world. Oh my gosh. Wait a second. Is this like an entire map?
In that forsaken place,
What? Hello?
blood must spill.
Oh god, why is it so quiet?
Blood of your foes.
Hello?
I'm watching the Elden Ring trailer right now, so sorry if I'm not like talking too much.
Is my volume low?
Yes, I can hear you.
They were never saints.
No, is volume low?
Happened to be on the
Oh,
losing side of
I
the
think
war.
you're fine. Oh my gosh, this is
It looks very low on Audacity.
Oh really?
I lived,
Well, from
bitch.
here it's okay. Wait, what the heck is that? Whoa. Sorry, I'm watching the Elden Ring trailer right now, so that's why I'm kind of like just.
Oh, you little shitter.
It looks very beautiful.
Mother, wouldst thou truly lordship sanction?
Oh my gosh, these bosses are gonna be sick! Woo!
Bad boys.
By the way, are you guys all like back? Is I'm still like. Okay, yeah, totally. I'm doing my reaction to Elden Ring, so that's why everyone's like watching it right now.
You too are keen to
My
know
reaction. Oh, this looks so sick.
just what kind make
Oh.
Got these
Woo!
on Etsy.
Oh, I want that weapon. Oh, that looks so cool. The flailing daggers, all these monsters. Whoa! Whoa!
those
I don't know why the MK3 one has an MK2 screenshot on it.
shadow me death in the embrace of restless flame.
Come now. Touch the withered arm and travel to the realm of shadow.
Damn.
I will not be far behind.
Woo!
May we meet again.
Ho, 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 ho. Okay, so.
Now I'm ready.
Alright, great. I just finished the trailer. Nothing. It's nothing like, oh, I remember this from Elden Ring. It's totally like brand new stuff. So, but it looks fucking cool as shit. It looks like an entirely new game, honestly, with how big it looks. Holy. Anyways.
I didn't even
Tekken
finish the
8.
first one. Yeah.
Whoa! Whoa! Our time is now. So, we kind of Dog and I slightly discussed about that in the last episode. Well, I think the biggest question is, what did you think about Tekken 8's story mode, the fourth snake?
Not very good.
I
Kindred
predicted
spirits, you and I.
I mean, it was.
that. We predicted that.
I mean, you know, it's an improvement over sevens, but in fairness,
That's what I
that's
said.
not a
Yeah.
high bar to cross.
Yep. I said it was better than Tekken 6 and 7, so I think it's better than Tekken Bloodlines. There you go. Is that a good compliment?
I don't think it is, to be honest.
Yeah. A lot of the people.
It
that
wasn't
I-
like bad per se, but there is a lot of like dumb bullshit stuff that I really dislike about the way Tekken has chosen to structure its stories.
Yeah. Because the consensus apparently online that I've seen, I don't see a lot of people discussing the story, which I maybe I could watch more videos about that. But I have seen a lot of consensus of comments online just saying this was great. I love this story. This should be the standard of how story modes are made nowadays and stuff. And yeah, because of that, I'm actually kind of like afraid of some of the shit that we're about to say like right now. So I'm gonna be careful with my words. Personally, you guys can shit talk the game. I'm gonna be very careful with how I word things. I don't know, maybe one day be like,
chill,
hey, remember
Tekken
back
chill,
in February
Tekken
2024 when the Four Snakes said this about Tekken 8? Yeah, and we liked his opinion. What the hell is wrong with that kind of a thing? I feel like that's gonna happen, depending on what we say here. How do we start this topic?
So I'll say what I like
tricky.
positive wise. So the positives
That's
that
a
I
good
liked
thing.
about
Yes.
yeah,
I would like to talk
So
about this too. Yeah.
the positives that I liked about Tekken 8's story was how many times you get to pick who you fight with was cool. I think that should be a
Okay.
good way. I think if more fighting games incorporated that into story mode more often, you wouldn't have the issue of like, oh, I never get to play my character. If you incorporated more of those moments, like in the tournament part, for example, when like, you get to choose each one, that was kind of cool.
That's the only part, right?
Yeah, but there's a lot of that. There's like
well,
several
thing,
points.
I like that part, and I'll get into why later. But yeah.
So that bit was so weird because I was there thinking, okay, so how much? Obviously, Jin's gonna have to win his fight, but do I actually get to influence like who I'll fight later? Like
what I really wanted to. Yeah, I thought that was like what they were going for.
Or will it be that based on who wins and loses, based on who I chose, will that determine who will be in that big dumb battle at the end?
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
The winners are on your side. The losers are like, well, you're gonna have to join up with us now. So, but no, it's like, and even some of the characters, like Yoshimitsu and Brian disappear after their fight. They're not in the story at all. Whereas like Fenway only shows up there.
Brian is in the intro in that battle scene, but he's not there. But he's in the intro.
Even though
you see him using the mini. Yeah, they're there in the intro.
The ideal character to put in this scene is the guy who carries a minigun and is insane and evil. The optimal character to join Kazuya's army is him, and he's not there.
To be fair,
Fenway is just there for some reason. He won't.
That made me laugh when that happened. I was like, oh. Yeah, hi, you're in this game. I forgot about that. Hi, welcome.
It's very clear, one, they had to make use of him, but also they wanted him to fight Leroy just to show, like, hey, this is how, like, strong Leroy is. So, like, I get that kind of stuff, but, yeah. The way they utilized some of the characters was very weird, but we're saying positive for now, yeah.
Yeah,
I liked
talk about
the switching
positives.
of the characters. That was cool. The ending was very over the top and epic, which was fun. Although I know Snake doesn't like when like the two god characters are so high above, but the cool thing is it also ends that trend because after that big battle, we see that they don't have the devil gene anymore. Like they can't transform. So that would mean that Kazuya and Jin are more in line with other fighters now.
I'm interested in seeing how they do that. Yeah, because the ending of this game is like the devil gene is gone for Jin and Kazuya, and that if they continue that trend, I'll be like, oh, that does seem to move the plot in a different way, right?
That's the thing.
For now, like you said,
I feel like there's like
Heihachi
two ways.
Is dead for now.
I feel like there's two ways this can go because they also set up like full spoilers, by the way. Just
we're definitely full spoilers for sure. Yeah.
So Devil Reina.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, which means either we're gonna get Jin fighting Devil Reina, and he has no powers. He will still have angel powers because it's a Kazuma thing, not a Devil Gene thing. Or maybe, and this is not going to happen, but maybe this is what Asuka finally gets to be like useful.
That's not going to happen.
No. I mean, bear in mind, think about this. How many characters on the base roster do we not get to play as in story mode at all? This Fenway, Asuka.
Basically the villains. Yeah.
We get to play as Kazuya once and Reina. Like
True.
I think those and Jack. I think it's Jack, Nina, Asuka, and Feng are the only ones we don't get to play as. Asuka's not even a villain, and we don't get to play as her.
Panda.
Oh yeah, because she's still
Zafina,
dead. She's
Claudio. These are all
she ain't dead,
players.
but I get what you mean. Yeah.
It's like, see, and they did it again where they're like, yeah, here's this important character to the story. Last time it was Kazuya's mum. This time it's Jin's mum. They're still dead. They're both still dead.
Well, she shows up apparently. I had to be reminded that she does
dead.
show up in story mode at the very end. Her feet walk into frame. So June is apparently alive. She was just not doing anything.
Actually, there's an implication to that. Jun being there could imply that Kazuya is dead. That was some people's implications.
That's the weirdest part, is because last time it was like, okay, Kazuya throws Heihachi into a volcano. Definitively, until they decide not to, killing him. But at least that you look at it and go, okay, he's dead. That's what they're trying to tell us. Kazuya just falls over and Jin walks away off screen.
Yeah.
And then Jun walks up to his body. Like, they don't even make it clear if he is... even just like when Kazuya punched Heihachi and that the energy came out from behind him, that clearly signifies this is the big move, Heihachi is done. Whereas with Kazuya, they don't even have that. It's so pointless and dumb, and it's like... You couldn't have put just a bit more pizzazz into it, like a bit of like white energy blasting out of Kazuya when he gets punched. No, he just goes. I'm unconscious, I guess.
They both get punched,
it that way. I liked how subtle it was, but
it's implying that it's like who's gonna fall, Like that's kind of like the way how they're doing it. It's
I understand that, but why did they not make it clearer in some way that Kazuya is dead?
Oh, you mean?
I don't think
'cause
he
obviously
is.
they
I
wanna
don't
make it
think Jin's goal
ambiguous.
was ever to kill Kazuya. It was to stop the devil.
It was.
And he did.
His goal was to kill Kazuya and then himself.
Yes,
yeah, sure.
but,
I think,
but
I
he
think once
grows
had that
as
whole
a
journey,
character.
though, he's Angel
Yes,
now. You know,
he wants
he's a
to
good
care
guy.
about himself. He wants to care about his comrades. So he doesn't want to kill his dad. You see, that's the growth. That's the
And
arc that Jin goes through.
I know that I'm doing too much explaining for the writer here, but like maybe the reason that June waited until then to show up is because she thought, I can't reach Kazuya in like his current corrupted devil state, but when he's back to himself and it's all been purged from him, now I can walk back into his life, maybe make him better off screen, and then go to Jin, and now like he'll be way easier to win over than Kazuya. So if I can get Kazuya first and then go to Jin, then we'll be one big happy family. That's me writing for the writer, because like and also I think in her arcade thing or her character thing, doesn't it also explain that she's not dead? She's just in a long sleep.
The thing
the
is,
tree.
are arcade quests canon? You know, like that's the thing. Though.
The endings definitely aren't, but I thought at least the beginning part where it explains their thing, I thought at least that was.
Yeah, like in Devil Gene's arcade quests.
Even some of those aren't, because like Asuka's story is like Lily goes, oh well, I'll see you at the tournament, and then in her ending she's like, I'm going to pay you back for the tournament. Asuka's not in the fucking tournament. We see the entire tournament roster, and Asuka's not in it.
The arcade quest tournament is a different tournament. Like that's like a completely, that's like the Mishima Zaibatsu are now like up for grabs, and that's why there's a Tekken tournament. But in the story mode, it's Kazuya being like, y'all fight. That's the tournament. So it's a different tournament, literally. So that's why I'm saying it's not canon for what happens. But I can say something that will confirm Jun's fate. It's spoiler related if you want to hear it, though. Do you guys want to hear it? It's kind of small.
Sure.
What is this
Okay,
from, like,
so there's some like minor leaks about like the character stuff. One of them is basically how
no leaks.
None of that.
okay.
Yeah.
It's very
We're being
tiny.
clean
I
boys
don't think
about
it's like
that.
that big of a deal.
No leaks.
All right,
No
Mr.
leaks.
I want to be purist, Mr. Cherry Not Popped. Okay.
So one more thing that I do like about story mode is that even though it's really stupid, the implication of why Law and Paul are fighting, it does low-key imply that Paul like won whatever. I don't know how this tournament works, but somehow Paul won because he got the prize money, because Law wanted the money, and he's like, no, I already spent it all. So that implies that Paul is still a badass. But
he spent it? I thought he didn't get it.
That's what he says.
He said, I spent it already.
Yeah.
There's none left.
I thought.
I think he's just in the background when the camera's moving away to focus on someone else. You can hear him say, "I spent it already," and it's like, but he didn't win the tournament. He beat Law in the
maybe you get some
qualifier
money
for the
getting in the
tournament.
top 8s or something.
Well, it's not even top 8. It's because remember the actual structure is you have 6 fights. Two of the people who win the first round just move on to the third round.
Oh yeah, I just realized that the tournament ends too, because once Kazuya gets what he wants, he fucks off. He just leaves.
Like if
it's top 12, top 12, not top 8. Yeah.
If the tournament had proceeded, Jin wouldn't have even had a second round fight. It would have moved right on.
Oh yeah, he'd be. Oh no, Jin. It's not Jin. It's either Yoshimitsu or Brian. Like they wouldn't need to fight a second round. Jin has to fight either Lily or Azucena, because I'm looking at the list here.
That's one more rivalry that needs to end, but we'll talk about that in the negative parts.
In terms of positives, I'll give one big giant positive.
Yeah.
Cinematically speaking, it's hype as fuck watching the story mode, like going through it.
Very pretty.
Oh yeah, the transitions aren't as smooth, but that's fine. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, I would say maybe even better in terms of like a movie. Like since it's a 3-hour movie and there's a lot of like action scenes paced and stuff like that. Well, but even the transition stuff I think is pretty cool, because in battle it's like sometimes you land a move and it's like words will be spoken out about like, is that all you got, and then you can continue fighting. There is more like cinematics being played into the gameplay, and even like I actually do like some of the QTE stuff that happens. It's like, if you succeed, you get damaging your opponents. If you don't, you get hit. I remember like I liked how it's like when Hua-Ring used the Rage Art Army, I'm like, I got hit by this? Okay. But then it's like a QTE, she was like, oh, I can block this. Whoa! And that kind of stuff is like pretty cool.
Yeah. I like that too.
I feel the pacing was a little off actually, because it
gets kind of boring in the middle part.
No, yeah. I mean because it feels like you have like the first half of Act 1, and then you jump right to the second half of Act 2. Like you go from the preliminary stuff, and then and it even skips a few of those fights, and then he just jumps into the tournament, which should be the end of Act 2. because that's where Kazuya's going to have his gets the power from Azazel, and it becomes it's like, oh no, the things are getting terrible now. And it's like it feels like a huge part of the story was just skipped in the early phase to get right to the tournament. And then and it's also really funny because the tournament itself is filler. Like the only fight that matters in that entire thing is Jin versus Leroy. It's the only
for a little bit
matters.
like an arc part.
Yeah, the rest of them are irrelevant, which is why you can choose who wins, because it literally doesn't matter. Even though it would have been really fun to have the tournament go through to the end, and at least
I was gonna let King fight Jin. That was what I was planning to try. But yeah, couldn't get that.
You could have done really neat stuff with that idea, but unfortunately,
I let Kuma win against Paul though, so Kuma doesn't have a losing streak. I want to bring up.
I'm sure you can guess who like the one new character that I played as in the story mode was. As a Cena, because it's like of all the new characters, she's the one I played as because you play as
you play as Reina and Victor.
Yeah,
you play all 3 new characters if you can.
Yes, but the actual point I'm really trying to make is you can guess out of Lily and Azucena who are picked immediately. Like
I picked Azucena too.
With some of the others, it's like, maybe I'll pick this character, maybe I'll pick this one. But with that one, I'm like, immediately, I'm not playing as Lily. Fuck Lily, she's ruined Asuka.
I think that's
so
fun
to play that.
Actually, I want to bring up something that I kind of like that I don't think a lot of people are bringing up about the tournament stuff. So, this is a global tournament with all these like fighters all getting together because Kazuya's like, if you fail fighting, then I will punish your country, basically. And at the end, you can see the top 12. You see like where these characters come from each like region. And what very interests me about like this top 12 is, in a way, the story is kind of saying like, because Kazuya is gonna like rule the world, so obviously I gotta protect my country. So I think it's very logical to think that probably any or all, if available, Tekken characters will want to try to participate in this tournament, try to fight in it. So because of that, I feel like you could say that these 12 characters who are in the top 12 are like, in a way, the strongest character in all of Tekken, at least in their region. So it's kind of like saying, well, why didn't Asuka make it to the top 12? Maybe she lost to Yoshimitsu. There's like this implication in that, and that actually is quite interesting to seeing like how strong these characters are. It's like, oh, where's because Snake, you like Lydia, you always bring her up a lot. Well, maybe she lost to Steve Fox or Lily. I don't think you want to think about that, but maybe like that's why she's not here, and a lot of these implications with these characters, and I find that to be an interesting way of looking at this.
For me personally, I think it would have been a bit more interesting instead of dividing them back like that. If it was just by country. Like, here's the Korean representative, here's the Japanese.
That's how it was supposed to be too, according to Kazuya's speech. That's how it was like intended, but oh well.
Countries are a bit too complicated, so instead we have Asia A block, Asia B block instead. And Europe C block. So we get more reps for Europe, and America A block and stuff.
Was Kuma in the tournament?
Yes. Kuma fights Paul.
So
again.
So if they'd done by country, Kuma couldn't have competed because Jin has to be there, so they couldn't have used Kuma.
In the story, first off, Kuma represents Southeast Asia, and in the story, it's like somehow randomly Kuma like pops in and beats up everybody here, so that's why he gets to represent Southeast Asia. That's what they say in the story mode. That's literally what they say. So we don't know what Kuma's nationality is, but he represents Southeast Asia just because.
Well, because Heihachi, I guess, like raised him. Otherwise, he would not be. I don't think, because I'm not sure if Bear's even.
Well, in the story, it says he busted in, and that's why he won that tournament in that region. That's why.
Well, I mean, you can't expect a bear to wait in line and register, and nobody would take it seriously. He can't hold a pen. He can't.
I think people will take Kuma seriously. He's been a veteran of these tournaments since the third one. He's been in fucking four or five of these by now. Like canonically, he's been in them all. So yeah, and he's also
these world's strongest fighters look like runoff from the local zoo.
He's also a second generation. He's a second generation competitor because his father was in the first two.
That's true. Yes.
So he has a legacy that he's upholding. So people would take him very seriously. He'd be like one of the top contenders.
No, at least I hope people take him very seriously in the universe. Let's see. What else can we say? I said cinematics. In my opinion, because the cinematics alone got me very pumped up for scenes. Got me be like, oh yeah, let's go fucking up action scenes and stuff like that. So even I was influenced by that to the very end of the story mode, and I'm like, whew, that was hype as fuck, dude. Woo, yeah. And then
I also liked how in the final fight, which went on for one segment too many, I think, but it should have ended when it went classic like Tekken 3 music. I thought that was hype as hell. With Kazuya
of course,
versus
that
Jin.
was the hypest
there we
moment
go.
for Tekken fans.
We've got to end on there, but then it's like, no, we got to do one last fight with the Tekken 8 theme. But
he also starts using the Kazama style too. It's
that's something I did like is. Structurally, this is just the same finale as last time. All that's functionally changed.
It actually is.
Kazuya's fighting his son instead of his father, and they've just changed the aesthetic from fire to water. But with that other one, all that really changed gameplay-wise between the like 7 fucking fights you had with Kazuya was his moveset. He would get the devil powers and become more and get stronger, and all the gimmicky bullshit. With this one, it's Jin who's changing all the time. So, from the player's perspective, you get something different. So you have Jin's moveset, you have Devil Jin's moveset, you get June's, but it's not exactly June's, but it's like June's moves as well, which just causes a bit of confusion because you're not entirely clear what moves you've got, but it still had some needed variety. So even though it's literally just doing the same thing they did last time, they're doing it better. And so it works a lot better and shows like all the different influences that have led Jin to this point. As opposed to Heihachi's just going to keep fighting because he's willpowering through, because he's a cool, good guy now. Even Tekken 8 is just like, oh yeah, Heihachi died trying to stop this devil, and it's like, stop acting like he didn't throw his child off a cliff and shoot his grandson in the face.
Like the reason why
stop it.
The reason why Jin is using Tekken 3's ability is because he doesn't resent his grandfather anymore. I don't resent this fighting style. So in a way, he kinda forgave Heihachi. Kinda.
Or it just works. It just works. It just works.
Also, don't forget the amazing meme because of this fight. Press X to believe in yourself.
Yeah.
I actually kind of like that meme. I will not forget my past. I will not forget my comrades.
That's like that's like in the at the end of the tutorial part of the Tekken 7 story, where Heihachi's holding Kazuya over the edge of the cliff, and it's like, press square and triangle to throw him off the cliff, because that's the throwing ball. And it's so silly.
That whole retcon of him like, oh, he actually was just trying to kill the Devil Gene. It still makes no sense because Heihachi could have just killed the kid in a more direct way to make sure that the gene didn't.
Oh yeah, it's a retcon.
Like if you actually wanted to kill him, you could have just slammed his head against a rock.
Well, that's the thing.
It would have done the trick.
He didn't just want to kill him. He was testing if Kazuya had the Devil Gene because he didn't know. So and it's like, so the logic is,
it's like a witch's trial.
If he has the Devil Gene, then he might survive and come back for revenge. Whereas if he doesn't, he's just murdered his innocent son. It's like the whole thing makes no sense.
Makes no sense. Yeah.
It's so bad.
But hey, that's not Tekken 8's fault. That's Tekken 7 and 6. So you know,
and also well, this kind of relates though. It's not a negative or a positive thing. It's kind of a funny correlation. Everyone keeps trying to explain how Reina even has the gene at all because she's not.
Yeah,
she doesn't have that in her blood.
About that too.
So there's a bunch of theories about that.
Because she absorbs
one of
it
which
at the
makes
end.
more sense, huh?
What?
She meant to absorb it at the end because she can't have the Devil Gene because she's not Heihachi's. Because Heihachi didn't have it. It was from Kazumi. So obviously it can't be from. She can't have the Devil Gene. So she's
when did she absorb
it?
I'm pretty certain she's like she has it because she.
She does have it, but
that's why she let herself get blasted by the big laser move.
She didn't.
She wanted to get pushed to the edge of death.
She wanted to activate it. Yeah, that's why she
wanted to activate it. Which is so.
I'm pretty
like,
sure she is born with the
Snake's
Devil
not
Gene.
wrong to assume that, but yeah, it's implied that she has it. That's why even when she's fighting Devil and before she gets hit by the blast, just in the middle of the fight, she goes, guess that wasn't enough.
The only other way it makes sense is if Heihachi went on the warpath after Kazumi died and just wiped out the Hachijo, but there was like one kid left and he took her in and raised her in secret. That's the only way it makes any sense.
There's still a mystery surrounding this.
Like if she's not his biological child, but instead his that's the only way this would make any sense. other than
I literally
she's
I was
absorbing
getting to
power.
it. I was getting to the 2 points that make sense, but I didn't get to get there.
Snake was too fast.
So there's
The
two.
gameplay is
I'll
your
do the less
domain,
likely
dog.
one
Mine's
first,
the
and
story. Story's what I talk about.
Sure. I'll do the less likely one and the more likely one first. But the more likely one is funny because it ties back into evil Heihachi having to be canon, because otherwise this wouldn't have happened. So the less likely option is apparently for the Devil Gene to even be a thing at all. It's because Azazel, or however you pronounce that big guy's name,
Azazel.
he would give it to people selectively to like enforce his will, right? So it could just be that one of her ancestors was one of those few people that had his will imposed upon them to serve him, and it just went down the lineage. That's one theory.
Probably what it is. That's probably
one
why
theory.
they introduced that weird idea, so they can say, oh, well, we can still have devil people even without the Mishimas, which is dumb and lazy, and I don't like it, but at the same time, it means that maybe they'll ease off and just focus on this one family, and it'll be broadly devil people and not just the Mishima bloodline, which can only be a positive for Tekken, really, at this point, because I'm fucking sick of this family. I don't want any of them in the next game.
Honestly, it's time to end it. Like, this is the great finale, father son. No more Devil Gene. Great, end it. Okay, we're good. We're good. We can start to do some other things now. Honestly, you want to know the third and definitely most unlikely, but there is this possibility. What if this is like still one of like Kazumi's like child?
Oh, like she had two.
I
mean, with
the issue with this
died,
is
though.
Reina would be very old. Like she would not be that young. But like, I don't know, just a one theory out there.
I had a theory too. We didn't say that.
Unless the
though,
devil power stops her from aging.
right? Or age really slow.
And she's actually
Age
like
super slow.
She's actually like 48 years old, just pretending to be 18.
That'd be pretty epic.
Heihachi just happened to bang another person with Devil Gene. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that could happen too. But here's the second theory that is, I think, more likely. Apparently, it's either in one of the endings from the older games, or it's just implied somehow in the lore that Heihachi was experimenting with the Devil Gene. Like, he was trying to figure out a way to give it to himself.
I remember that.
And so he was experimenting with
That was his
people
goal
and
in
stuff.
4.
That was a thing, yeah.
So it could be she's one of his experiments. Or like, even if she is his kid, he still experimented on her and may have given her the Devil Gene. But it was recessive and didn't take hold, and so he gave up and didn't try that anymore. But she might still have it somewhere in her body, and to activate it, she put herself at the edge of death multiple times. And then it finally took over.
That's an interesting theory. Yeah.
The thing about
that's
that
the most likely
is
one.
It doesn't actually work because his goal was to get the Devil Gene sample from Kazuya and Jin, and that's why he was like luring them out in 4. But he didn't get that because they both beat him up, and so then they both fled, and he was blown up and left in a coma for 2 months. So he couldn't get it from them. So
you are the lore master, because that is a good
work. But given how loose they play with the continuity, I would not be surprised if they established, oh no, he did do that and it worked, or maybe they'll tie it into Ogre somehow. Like, oh yeah, Ogre also ties to Azazel. He's actually a devil, not an alien, and like the experiments with Ogre led to Reina or something. Because I think he did get Ogre's blood at the end of 3.
True.
That would have actually been a way cooler twist, Snake. Instead of her being a devil, if she had stood up and been like ogre looking, that would have been a way cooler twist. It's like, oh, she's not even Heihachi's kid at all.
But she's a Mishima, so she has to have the Devil Gene. That's why it's cool.
But what if Heihachi fused her with Ogre's DNA or something? Because he would have actually, like, that would have been kind of cool. I don't know.
Yeah.
It could have been more interesting
Ogre
than
for
just more
DLC?
devil. Devil everywhere. Well, it is, it's pretty heavily implied that Ogre's going to be DLC. People are hoping.
It's also possible.
You think so? Because of that one scene? Like,
well, just in general, people were like, it's time for him to come back. Like, he's too beloved.
It is also
okay.
possible. It's possible that because Jinpachi's devil is completely disconnected from the Devil Gene. It has nothing to do with it. So it's possible. And we only see her from behind. Obviously, the style is based on Kazuya's devil form.
well,
but
Jinpachi doesn't have the Devil Gene. That's a completely different monster.
That's what I'm saying. So when we see Devil Reina, obviously the aesthetic is based on Devil Kazuya, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's the same thing. So it could just be another separate devil thing.
Maybe. Yeah, obviously they're leaving her ending very vague. They're setting up that she's going to be the next threat, but they're saying what she is and how she gets it is still a question mark. Like, they're purposely making Reina a big question mark. Like, even if you play her arcade ending, it's like not big of a spoiler, but like at the very end of her arcade ending, she's like, "Ah, just joking. I'm totally not whatever that whole arcade ending was. Okay, now that's actually a fight or something." So it's like obviously they're saying like whatever she is, whatever her past is very vague. The other thing we only know, which might be canon because of the arcade ending, like the very beginning of it, is like she was also one of the students in Heihachi's schools, basically. Which is probably why she calls Jin senpai all the time.
I guarantee the vagueness with Reina's character is not because they have this grand plan, but it's because they have no idea what they're doing with her either. And
fair enough. They can wait 7 years later to reveal whatever they're planning with her.
No, wait 7 years to decide what they're doing with her because they don't fucking know either.
I feel so damn old when y'all bring out how long ago Tekken 7 came out.
It is. It's very impressive how long it stayed. It's like Tekken 7 was a very like impressive game back then, but even now when I compare it with Tekken 8, I'm like, oh my gosh, we cannot go back to that anymore. Tekken 8 looks way better, way more pretty.
There's some things I liked in Tekken 7, but it's very minor. Like some of the effects I thought were cool.
Well,
that
also that game has 50
for...
characters and stuff, so there's all that.
And that's why I just want to pause for a second and say the Tekken community is so awesome because y'all put up y'all are so welcoming to things that our community, like the NetherRealm people or the Mortal Kombat people, would never be okay with. Like if the Mortal Kombat sequel to MK1 came out and it was mostly MK1's roster and attacks, but here's like 3 new characters and some new mechanics, everybody would hate it. Like they'd all trash it. But that's pretty much what Tekken 8 is. It's just like Tekken 7, but they've improved some things. They've added 3 characters and it looks better. It has a story mode. That would nobody would buy that for MK. They'd be like, oh, it's just a rip-off. They make me buy the same game twice. But Tekken's been doing that for like a long time and people have just been okay with it. And I think that's really cool that they're okay with that because I kind of wish Mortal Kombat would do that. They tried it once with Injustice 2. It was like the same game but with more characters, and it had like legacy characters, who played the same. And people got mad at that too. They were like, well, yeah, in Injustice 2, like Superman and Batman are pretty much the same character. You know what I mean? But they added more characters to it, and it gave them more moves and stuff. Now, Injustice 2 kind of fumbled because they also removed some of the attacks from the legacy characters, and that was really stupid. Like they replaced them with new attacks. It's like, no, just add on to it. Don't take away. But anyway, yeah. I just think it's cool that the Tekken community is okay with that. Like they're like, hey, we get that like Tekken 7 probably didn't have the budget it needed, so we're okay with Tekken 8 just being a really good Tekken 7 with a whole new heap system and with like a story mode and 3 new characters. Like that's cool.
Yeah, Tekken fans have put up with not great looking and performing games for a while. Like the load times since 6. Like, especially in 6 and 7 were horrendous, and 6 had some pretty off models. Tag 2 was worse, and 7 has like the most fucking butt ugly models ever. Like, I would say the series hasn't genuinely looked good since 5 until now.
Yeah, and also
that's fair because before it was cutting edge. So I get what you mean. Yeah, like Tekken 5 was back in the era when Tekken was still like cutting edge when it came out. You were like, wow, this is what video games can look like. But ever since 5, it wasn't really pushing boundaries like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Even like I've heard many people say like 7 and before the online sucks ass, but in this game it's like the best it's ever been. I'm having a great time online. Like there's barely any disconnects. It's like if something disconnect happens, it's not like or input lag. It literally would just like stop 5 seconds. Okay, now let's keep playing. Or stop disconnect. It would just be okay. This is a bad match, which makes online very fun there.
Well, wasn't the reason for that like awful online because like Tekken was like the big holdout for rollback? Like, that was like the big one that everyone was saying, no, you fucking dinosaur. People said that, obviously. It's not just me saying that. I'm not being mean to Harada. It's just that's what people call him. Like, no, you fucking dinosaur. Rollback is the way of the future. And he's like, no, we're going to stick to the way it's always been done. Then eventually he got browbeaten enough to be like, fine, we'll do the rollback netcode. And then people are like, wow, finally a good online experience. Crazy how that happens.
I feel like one thing we can discuss about the story mode that could lead to like huge conversations is the fact that this is a story mode that really just like, despite it having like 32 characters, actually in a way it's kind of similar to Tekken 7 in that we really only focus on a very few. In fact, I can list them out. Jin, Kazuya, actually Devil Jin, literally, and in my opinion, Reina. I think these are literally the only characters.
Lara's got a pretty good showing too.
Lars, yeah.
Would you count that? In my opinion, Lars is just kind of like
I would say yeah.
Support.
I would say he's not like the main guy, but he's like a major supporting character. I feel like he gets a lot of screen time. He gets
Sure.
to have that big moment where it's like, now Kazuya, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna beat you down.
Kazuya.
Like he gets that moment. Like I'd say, like
okay.
he's like him and Xiaoyu are pretty high. Not like the main guys, but they're important supporting characters.
Okay. I'd like to actually forgot one thing I want to compliment about Devil Jin, actually. Because, not necessarily like how he's handled in the backstory part, but just the fact that, well, because that's a bit confusing to me, but more the fact that he actually is implemented into the story mode in a sense, because we've had Devil Jin, but I don't think they really wanted to use Devil Jin, this character, for a very long time. But in this story mode, they're like, okay, Devil Jin's popular, people like him. Let's actually implement him into the story mode, like, somehow. So you get him when you're playing as Jin. When you're fighting Kazuya, he actually transforms into Devil Jin, but without the maniacal laugh, but he has the moveset, basically. And then obviously you have the whole entire inner conflict part, which is where you get the super, like, swag outfit jacket, looking Devil Jin design, because it's in his mind. That's how he thought about his design. So I'm like, okay, that's how you implement Devil Jin into the story. I'm like, okay, cool, because we've had this character for so long. Let's actually try to do something with him. So I'll give that compliment to there.
What I thought was funny was when Jin confronts Devil Jin, like towards the end of the game, and he says, "You from back then." You're flashing back to the start of the game, and it's like, is that suggesting that Jin was not aware of the Devil Jin personality like at all up to now? Because why is it not? Because he's not like, oh yeah, this thing has been plaguing me for years, ever since Heihachi shot me. It's just like from back then, from a few weeks ago.
Maybe he never wakes up to it. Maybe he doesn't know. Oh, I just lose control. He never knows it's another personality. When was the last time he activates Devil Jin? Did he do that in Tekken 6 or never? I don't think he did that
in 7. He was a Devil Jin the whole time almost. Yeah.
He did in 7 when he blew up that helicopter. Then he was back to being normal Jin straight away. He 6. The implication at first is that Devil Jin has taken over, but then we find out that Jin was just like orchestrating the war, and Devil Jin's not part of the story in 5 or 6 at all.
5. Didn't he turn to Devil Jin to beat up Huaring?
Oh yeah, that's canonical, which is weird. It's like that's the one thing he does as Devil Jin. Like, one time he becomes a devil, it's not to fight Jinpachi and defeat him or anything like that. All the other stuff with Asuka is non-canon. It's the fact he just showed up and just blew up fucking Hwarang's bike, and they even acknowledged that in this game when he's thinking back on all of his sins. It's like that's one of the ones they use.
Yeah, the funny thing about I think someone mentioned about Huaring is like, when in their intro they got that cute intro. It's like, come at me, Huaring. Huaring's like, heh, and they do the kick. It's like, yo, cool bro moment. But then someone says like his scuff there is probably the fact that Huaring in his mind is like, I can beat the shit out of you, but then you're just gonna cheat and turn to Devil Jin and beat me up. So that's what happened in this game again. Oh, I was about to win. Oh, the Devil Jin comes out. I win.
Yeah.
Oh, one more cinematic compliment. I want to give one cinematic compliment while playing this game. Even I got really hyped up when this happened. When you were fighting the Devil Jin, and it was like, oh, you're going deeper in the layers. He's confronting himself, and then at the very end, it's like when it's like he has the chains on him. It's like, I want you to set me free, Devil Jin. All right, and then you're about to fight, and the camera like does a 180. I'm like, whoa! That part got me so pumped up when that happened. I was like, whoa!
What's really funny though is the way you set him, the way you like break Jin's chains is by doing your rage art in which you chain him up.
Well, you have to, at the end you break him. You officially break off.
Yeah,
the
but
chains.
like he's already chained up. Why do we have to chain him up again to break his chains? Like what? It's so silly. Like,
hey, listen, it's not more silly than the trailer when they finally revealed that like the 8 was like the chain and the chain was
right.
the DNA, and then it broke.
It's very
that was already
symbolic,
really creepy. I was like, wait a minute, they added this new element to the trailer. That's kind of gross. The chain in your veins, gross.
But yeah, how do you guys feel about this story being revolved with very few characters, mainly Jin and Kazuya, and then Reina, Lars, Xiaoyu-ish in this, and a bunch of characters all like just featured and very, very sidelined. Like, how do you think of that approach, basically?
It's a tricky thing to get right, because I've talked about it before plenty of times. Like Street Fighter V is the example of where you bring in all the characters for the story, even if they don't fit. So he's carrying Kanzuki in this major role in taking down Shadowloo, as well as Ibuki and R-Mika. Why is R-Mika here fighting Shadowloo? Whereas the alternative is Tekken 7, where like barely anyone's
Nobody's there.
And so Mortal Kombat is easier, and so is Injustice, because those are largely about good versus evil. The characters are put into these groups that do all just, like Kano doesn't have much going on for himself, but it's easy to imagine. Oh, the bad guy just paid for his services, and that's it.
Do a bad thing, yeah.
So whereas like a lot of other fighting games have a harder time with that. So I think the ideal approach will be to make like 2 separate story modes. One, or like the main plot, and then here's just the side thing for all the other characters, or to approach it the way that Dead or Alive 6 and Soul Calibur 6 did it, where you have the overall story mode. Here's the main story that'll focus on these characters, and they might not get their own story mode. They might just be in this, but then here's all the other characters having their own things going on at the same time. And you get like a nice little timeline showing you how everything happens in relation to each other. I think that would be a better approach. And then you have like, well, here's a tournament, and King's going to do his thing in the tournament, so you can follow his adventure. Then here's where you follow Law and Paul. Then here's where Asuka shows up and beats the shit out of Lily. But there's the main story where the main characters are doing their thing. And there's a bit of intersection between.
Yeah, because that's the one. That's actually why I liked like some of the older Tekken games, even Tekken 6, where it's like you get like arcade endings and like, while the story was going on, what have they been doing? You follow Tekken 3, it's like, yay, Jin defeats Ogre and saves the day, but you can also learn about Eddie's story, or like how Hwaring's story or King's story and stuff like that. You can play the arcade endings to find more about that. And I actually was like, I'm really disappointed that the arcade endings are just like, funny little what if arcade endings and stuff. I really wanted more what if scenario, or not what if. I really wanted more like canon stuff, or like what happened with a lot of these characters and what's going on with them.
You've been spoiled by M1K.
What do you mean by that?
Well, that game's like.
Are you saying like, M1K is so good? It gave me like this stuff. Oh my gosh, I should be expecting this or something.
No, I mean, because M1K's arcade endings, the arcade endings in that game tell you where the characters are going from here. Where that gives you the canon material, whereas Tekken's just doing what it's always done. But at the very least, it's better than what 7 did, because in 7, the way they approached it was, here's 2 characters who are going to fight, here's what might happen if this character wins, here's what would happen if the other character wins. And like, usually you look at like Steve and Nina, where it's like, well, if Nina wins, Steve gets knocked out and Nina runs away, and that's literally all that happens. You might as well not even bother animating this. It's a waste of time. Where Steve actually has some narrative to it, and it's like, you can tell like he was clearly leaning on Steve, but it starts that weird thing where it's like, why make 2 versions of the scene for the same 2 characters when you could just say, well, Steve's going to fight Nina, and then Nina's going to fight someone else in her story. So then that scene with Steve still exists, but like she'll be fighting someone else in her story where she can have something more interesting for her to do. Like it's like when you watch like the rival battle cutscenes for Street Fighter Cross Tekken. It's like they are different events depending on which pair you're coming into it with. But like, why not just have it like, okay, so, Kazuya's going to fight Ryu in his story, so why not have Ryu fight Jin instead? Like, have some more, have more story scenes instead of just here's 2 versions of the same event. I don't want 2 versions of the same event. I want a wider variety of interactions.
Yeah. Not to mention, some of those interactions had nothing to them anyway. Like Leo versus Yoshimitsu, already a weird pairing. You can tell they're just both left over.
Hentai? Yo.
Listen, though, I mean, it's like, you could tell that they were just both left over, and they like, which characters do we have left? Leo and Yoshimitsu. Crap, we'll have them fight, because Leo gets nothing from beating Yoshimitsu, and Yoshimitsu gets nothing from beating Leo. Both their endings are completely stupid and pointless. I will say that for all the nice things we've been saying, the character arcade endings have been pretty lacking for a while in the Tekken series, like, which I guess has like almost created a Stockholm syndrome in the community, being like, well, it's okay because they're always like that. It's like, no, it could be better. Like, it's okay to want a bit more sometimes. Like, I want Yoshimitsu to have a different ending than what he's had in the past 4 games in a row. Can I please have just a different ending?
I wanted to see, wait, has Yoshimitsu been controlled by the sword in all the endings or something?
So the Yoshimitsu lineage in general, he's actually named after the sword. The possessed spirit in the sword is Yoshimitsu. whoever wields it is also given the title of Yoshimitsu, and it's always passed down, which is why, despite time skips, they fight the exact same for the most part. That's the only cool thing about Yoshimitsu's ending that I had to, like, once I calmed down a bit, because I don't know if Snake's aware, but I was actually really angry after watching all the arcade endings and learning that none of them matter. They're either not canon or they're jokes. And I was like, oh my god. I was like, because I get for 7 like why they did it, because 7 was probably rushed or under budget, but with 8 they had a chance to actually do something and they still did.
Very
and I was
cinematic.
like, okay, now I'm really mad. It's been 7 years and I didn't get anything new. I'm pretty mad. But Yoshimitsu had the exact same ending as he always does. He fights Brian, except in this one, he's like convincingly losing to Brian in his own ending. So I'm already kind of like, no, Yoshimitsu's getting beat up in his own arcade ending. But I did laugh when the steel beam came from off frame and hit Yoshimitsu, because for some reason, Brian carries around that steel beam in Tekken 7.
Oh, even in his fights?
Well, at the start, he has the steel beam and just throws it. Yeah, but anyway, here's a cool implication, because you asked about Yoshimitsu being controlled by the sword. What I think that's implying is that as Yoshimitsu, the wielder, gets older and a bit weaker, the sword takes hold more and more. So what they could be implying here is that just like how King passed the mantle down and a lot of other characters passed the mantle, we may get a new Yoshimitsu in Tekken 9. Like, he'll finally have to pass it on because he's getting too weak to contain the sword.
What's the ninja girl called?
It could be Kunimitsu or just a brand new character that's just Yoshimitsu again. Like, let's be real.
Yeah.
King 1 and King 2 are technically different people, but gameplay-wise, they're not. Like, they're the same person. And same with Kuma.
So
they're
is
technically
Kuma
different
and Kuma.
bears, but yeah.
Yeah.
So they could be implying that Yoshimitsu's going to pass the mantle down, which would be cool.
Speaking
Hey,
of King,
girl Yoshimitsu, be pretty badass. Just saying.
Yeah, because, like, I think I'm trying my best to, like, think of the story mode as just, like, narratively just Jin, just Kazuya. But part of me, I'm just like, I love these other Tekken characters, and they either get shit on or barely do anything. And that part kind of just makes me feel like,
the story does a really poor job of explaining a lot of, like, don't even bother explaining anything. Like, why is Nina working for Kazuya? Like, the story
bothered me a lot.
Explain that at all.
Because whoever takes the Mishima Zaibatsu, like, then she works for them. Like, she didn't want to work for Heihachi, and now she's like, okay, fine, you took the Mishima Zaibatsu, I'm going to work for you. Okay, fine, Kazuya.
Is Kazuya confirmed to have the Zaibatsu? Because the only thing that suggests that I saw was, I guess he has the rights to hold the new tournament. That seems to be it. There's also, I don't think there's any suggestion that he takes it. I think he just dissolves that Heihachi.
I think it's implied he does, but even so, isn't Nina also like a secret agent, and she's known to like betray people? So why can't she still be a double agent? Like, why can't she have depth?
No, she doesn't have morals for that part.
In 7, after Elisa blows her up, she actually stops working for Heihachi, so she doesn't even have ties to the Zaibatsu anymore. So we can assume that Kazuya bought her off, I guess, but...
Oh, that's fair, yeah.
But, like,
she's an assassin for hire.
Explain it.
Such a waste of a character.
I know I just got done explaining how Kano can easily be assumed to be bought off by the bad guys, but I feel like Nina's just a little bit, slightly higher class than Kano, so I feel like there should be just at least a bit to explain that.
Yeah.
Kazuya is the ruler of the world, so that's some class,
She got a new costume, too. I thought with her whole new redesign and all that, I thought, she's going to have a big role in the story because they completely changed her look. What's that about? And it's like, nope. She's literally one of the most wasted characters in the whole story mode because she like is just there, fights, has a conversation,
that's a funny
and then
joke,
leaves.
dog. You think she's the most wasted character in the story
I said
mode.
one of. Why does everyone misquote what I said? I said she's one of the most wasted characters. When you keep in mind she's been around since the fucking beginning, like that's the really earliest games, and she still does dog shit sorry, she does almost nothing in the story mode except walk with the army. Fight Reina of all people, who has no connection to her at all, and then is like, I'm leaving now, and it's like, okay.
You know why she fights Reina, right? Just to set her up as working for Reina in the next game.
Yeah, there's a very obvious like.
I hate that she's just a henchman. She used to be she had her own game. Nina was so popular and cool that she got her own freaking game, her own spin-off, and now she's just. I walk next to the military, and then I'll rein myself in.
Yeah, I accidentally ticked ticked the nerve for him because I remember you do like Nina like as a character before.
I ticked my own nerve. It was my own fault. I got myself set off, and I did my little spasms that I go on.
But that's what I mean. There's like a lot of these side characters in Tekken 8 who had nothing to do in Tekken 7, and now in Tekken 8 they pretty much had barely anything to do either. It's been 16 years and we still don't know what the fuck is going on with King, Armor King, and Marduk. I have to assume they resolved that thing, right? Because they don't even bring it up at all.
Well, see, the thing is, with that big battle was an opportunity to have a bunch of rival fights. All they did, like, here's Leroy and Feng Wei, Leo and Coffee Girl, and then Reina and Nina, and Reina and Nina's like the only one that matters. Like
Paul and Lars.
Yeah, and then it's like, why can't we have more like
Paul
and Lars? Paul and Lars. Stop fucking me up. Paul and Law. That was the best one because there's actually character to it, even though even when you think about it, the actual explanation makes no sense.
It's kind of a joke, right? More of a jokey kind of
why
fight.
Not have some actual proper character development through this? Like, I don't want the characters to just stick with the same rivalries over and over again. So I don't want Asuka to just be stuck with Feng Wei, but it would give us something to do in the story. Steve would actually matter if he went and fought Nina. And he's like, oh yes, you won't be my mother. This is what you're going to do. You're going to go and work for the guy who's going to destroy the Earth. Yeah, good one. And there's something there. Not literally, I'm here to set up the next game like this was the fucking MCU. Or these two pairs have nothing to do with each other.
Mm-hmm. Another wasted character, and I know it's like I'm biased because he's like my favorite character, but it's still worth mentioning. Like you said, Sonic, Yoshimitsu is seen for a literal less than a half second in the opening of the game, and he's just running in that final fight, right? It's implied he's fighting the cyborgs, right?
Or Brian.
That doesn't happen, which is already annoying. But then on top of that, just like how Brian would be fitting for the bad guys, Yoshimitsu has an entire ninja clan that works for the betterment of like society, so they would definitely be taking part in that war. But all we get is Raven's fucking ninja team instead. It was given to him, and I'm like, Yoshimitsu has that too. He's got a whole little clan of little ninja guys. But
oh, did he have ninjas though, Raven? I thought everybody was just like rebels and guns. There was like a ninja.
Well, you know how like
Raven
is related to Victor. They're like the same kind of unit, but tangentially, like they're both secret agents that keep the world order in balance.
The NATO forces. There was no there's no ninjas though. It's just those two.
I think they were all just gun forces. Yeah, nobody was.
Well, that's what I mean. I just meant that like he has his own little force.
Shit.
Is all I meant.
There was a fight that does potentially have actual story. Is Victor saying, "Oh yeah, Dragunov and I have unfinished business, and we don't know what that is." So I think it's something Dog's been saying for a while is because Master Raven is just absent, it does seem to imply that she probably did die in Tekken Shop.
That really happens. That would be very interesting if they dare to do that.
I mean, she's a one-off character. Like, who cares what happens to her, I guess. That really was just them gauging the waters and being like, Raven's not one of our popular characters. Do you think if we just change him into a hot chick that, like, more people will play him? And that was, like, the experiment, I think. I played him. That worked on me. I never played Raven before, and then I was playing Master Raven. So
I think I saw there's this one streamer who did Tekken, and he was like, "Why are y'all like Raven is back now and cooler than ever? Why aren't the Master Raven fighters like going for him?" And then someone in the comments are like, "I don't know why it's just as like racist." Like, no, it's what? What's the opposite of misogynist? Like or something like that.
Misandrist.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Is that why? No. Actually, everyone is like going to Victor and stuff like that. Like I have to say though, even though I like Victor as a character in playing and design wise, he's so unnecessary in the story. You literally can let Raven be that part too if you wanted to, but it's like,
or even just Lars,
he's
they're
the
both
one
in charge of like
behind.
a big military unit,
And you could do that in a story method wise, but if I think that Dragunov thing you mentioned could be cool if that actually turned out to be the case. Yeah.
I love that he was still crawling in story mode too, wasn't he? He was like on the floor and he's like, "Been a while, White Angel of Death." He's like still like just crawling, just being quiet.
Yeah.
Dragunov just always crawling, even in the middle of a battlefield, because that crawls normally for like espionage and sneaking, but now he's like in the middle of a battlefield, still crawling. Yeah. Him and Zafina just crawling together in a little montage, in a little loop.
Yeah. Speaking of characters who got really like fucked over, like how do you guys feel about Claudio and Zafina?
Claudio can get bent. He's a brand new character. I don't really give a shit. But Zafina, that was the first part of the story mode where I felt like that weird ancient anger that I get when I'm like, this can't have actually happened. Like they had time to write this, and they built this character up from the past game to like have new powers and stuff. And this is what she's used for. We already knew it was going to happen. We already knew somehow she would lose her powers and it would go to Kazuya. That was like guaranteed. But the fact that she just gets one shot had me so upset. And then random telekinesis powers from Kazuya as he levitates her, and I'm like, he can't fucking do that. He's never had that power. What the fuck is this? And it's just for that one scene to be dramatic. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I did kind of speedrun the story mode. Is it implied in one of the flashbacks that that was on purpose? Like she wanted to get beat and have the power taken from her?
Thought no
because I rewatched it and now I think I'm wrong. I think she did just get fucking jumped because she didn't understand the fortune she saw. She saw that bad stuff was coming and thought she had to stop it, but didn't realize that the bad thing happened because she went there. Like if she hadn't been there,
literally
it's one of those, like,
all she said was like,
your own fate.
I have to be here for reasons or something but she never explained why. So I was really confused about that too, because she literally went there to, well, she didn't die, but she literally went there to give Azazel up. So that I was like thinking she must have like in the prophecy saw something that she had to be there. I'm pretty sure she didn't know she was about to get jumped though in the prophecy. But yeah,
but she was there to give up Azazel. That was part of the plan. Like she wanted to lose Azazel at least.
I don't think she
that's
said
what you
that.
said. That's what you said, I thought. I don't remember.
No. I'm pretty sure she didn't say that she's giving up Azazel. All she says is she has to be there in the prophecy, I think.
Snake wants to talk.
I'll look up the cutscene right now. But yeah, what's up, Snake? Sorry, we keep describing you.
Do you guys know why Xiaoyu is with those two?
Because she fought Claudio and lost, right? And he kidnapped her?
It's not... Well, that was setting something up. But like the actual key is the canonical pachinko machine that takes place between 7 and 8, where Claudio and Xiaoyu go on adventures.
Hell yeah!
What is the pachinko machine? The lore
Hell
again.
Yeah,
Why
brother.
is Japanese fighting games doing this?
They go on an adventure. They fight Devil Jin, and then I think there's 2 different endings. One where Claudio just fucking kills Devil Jin, and one where he lives. And it's like, I guess that's canon.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. Just one more example of Xiaoyu beating up Nina too, because in one of those pachinko machines, she beats up Nina. So, despite Nina, on paper, Nina should win a fight against Xiaoyu, but she just keeps taking L's. So maybe it's just a matchup thing. She can't deal with that Art of Phoenix. Xiaoyu gets too low.
It's a matchup thing.
The only time Nina can win a fight is when her opponent is Anna.
Oh, that's true. Good point. Yeah, because I was very... I'm not like a Zafina diehard fan, so I was kind of okay with that. But like, I wasn't like too affected by that. But even I was kind of like, oh, if you're a Zafina fan, you got fucked. It's just like...
I just wanted some showing. Let her do something. Even if it's like a different part of story mode where she uses like... Yeah, no fight at all. No nothing.
Her
just gets
powers
owned.
are taken away... And that's
and her power is seeing the future, and she's the one that gets jumped. Like, the one who can see the future.
Her biggest contribution is literally telling Jin, you must go to the place of your origins. Understood, lady I have never met in my life before. Thank you. Actually, has he met her?
Yes,
has he met her?
6.
Okay, fine. Then I can't make that joke.
Because she comes up to him at like around Azazel's ruins, and she's like, oh, you know, you I know what you're up to. You're a bad guy, and he's just like, yeah, whatever, fuck off, bitch, and that's it.
Okay.
There is one benefit to that moment, though, at least, is that it's very implied that Zafina took Azazel just so nobody else would get a hold of it, but she doesn't like actually having that power. Like, she doesn't want it. So at least losing it is kind of like in her benefit. But it's still just so funny that they did nothing with that. Like the nothing story wise except losing it to you know.
And then Claudio has like a 2-3 minute setup ability, and then just misses.
And I think it's pretty implied that he died. Like he didn't just get knocked out. I think it's pretty implied that Claudio's effing dead.
Yeah. There's a crater. There's a crater, and we don't see his body. The clear implication that he got obliterated. In the end credit
scene, when you see all the photographs, you see Zafina like looking back, and at the edge of the picture, you see Claudio's legs, the pants. So it's as if it's implying he's fine. Hey, people play Claudio, so I don't know if they're going to kill him off that fast, you know? Because there's a lot of players who play Claudio.
The reason I love that is it could be intentional for like fans to go, oh, I recognize those pants. Or it could just be they needed something to put in the frame, so they just used his character model and have those pants there.
I would assume it's not that simple.
I don't know what the motivation is. It could be either or. Is it a Mandalorian thing where the dude's legs are just there and weren't meant to be in frame? Is it like that?
Mandalorian thing.
Yeah, do y'all know about that? The guy whose jeans are just there in the shot?
I think I remember hearing about that.
Y'all don't know about that? It was a huge, tiny little segue. It was a huge meme. So, in The Mandalorian first season, I think, in one of the actual shots that somehow no one noticed, the editor didn't notice, the final draft reviewer didn't notice, in one of the shots in the background, like in the doorway, kind of like cut off like this, just a guy in blue jeans and shoes just standing there. He's clearly one of the set guys. He's not meant to be in frame, but he's there. And that meme got so popular, they even made like fake Star Wars toys about it, like the little G.I. Joe like package things, and it's like Jeans guy or whatever. So I'm wondering if that's what Claudio is. Like he's just there to be there. But
I mean, at least that's the background, and not like that Game of Thrones one where there's a fucking
water bottle
and a coffee cup.
What's really funny was Dog and I, when we were talking about this in the last podcast, I had to like DM him and be like, you were saying like, yeah, Zafina was the one getting fucked up. I was saying like Panda, the character too. She ain't got anything to do with the story mode too. Oh, come on!
Panda is literally only in the game for Rangchu, and that's it. Panda is just there for that one pro player, because Panda isn't even being played by anybody. It's the least popular character in Tekken 8. Nobody is playing Panda. And no one's playing Zafina either, because she got fucking destroyed in the story mode. No one wants to play a loser.
Doesn't Panda go with Xiaoyu and Jin and then just disappears?
No. She doesn't disappear. She was in the background and like helping out like actually she was with Xiaoyu.
Sure she wasn't.
No, she was.
Pretty sure
that's why I was pissed, because she didn't like fight at all when she was there. When she was actually okay, I'll show the screenshot. But yeah, that part I was like, Xiaoyu is, I'm about to get defeated. I'm like, Panda, do something.
Panda sucks. In the future games, there better not be a separate character slot for both of them. You better finally just fuse them into the same character, like you did in Tekken 2. We're done.
Yeah, because I do see people say like, okay, how to play Kuma/Panda, because if you play one, you kind of know how to play the other.
Well, they did a pretty good job making them more distinct than Tekken 8, which is good. It's nice to do that. But now it's finally time to abandon one of them. Like, that could be anybody else in a future game. That could be Kunimitsu.
I do think Kuma is more popular, it seems like. So that one's going to stay.
Which is odd, because you'd think everybody would love the panda, because it's just a more interesting animal than a regular bear. But Kuma's just, I mean, for Pete's sake, he's cosplaying Heihachi.
You know?
Yeah, Kuma has more going on. Like, Panda is literally just there to support whatever Xiaoyu's doing. Whereas Kuma's like, I'm going to go and take over the Zaibatsu now that the Heihachi's gone. I'm going to take over and be like the guy. It's like, no, someone got there before me. I'm going to be in the tournament to get it. Oh, Paul? Yeah, come on, Paul. Even this game gave Kuma something to do where he's like, you saved me. You saved me, Kuma. And he's like, don't get the wrong idea, buddy. It's like, that's more than Asuka got.
True.
That's more than Asuka got.
Am I silly
there
for
you go.
thinking...
Take that, non-believer. Take that.
No, listen. What I'm saying is, I'm not saying she literally disappears once they head off. I'm saying that once they get to the tree, while Xiaoyu's fighting off all the Jack robots, Panda's not there.
But why wouldn't she be there? She was right behind her. Like, what the,
she's not. That's my point. That she's just not there at all. And then once she only shows up again, I think, when Jin comes out of his sleep state, and she's just there then. But between those points, Panda just ceases to exist.
Yes, that's why I was really pissed off. I was like, what the fuck? Why disrespect the Panda like this?
why are you arguing with me on this? You have the same...
It's also a bit funny that how Lars and Xiaoyu didn't team up. I get that she's like exhausted from fighting the Jackbots, but it would have been kind of cool for them to like tag team Kazuya. It certainly would have made more sense than what... I know it's dumb to point this stuff up because it's anime logic, and I don't want to take the fun away from the game, but...
Yeah, fair.
Kazuya could have just done his stupid big beam blast, destroy the whole tree, and kill Lars in one foul swoop. There is no reason Lars would have even been a speed bump in slowing him down. Like...
But I actually thought Lars might have died actually at the very end and before he got saved.
Well, I even joked to my friend, like, Lars got pushed hard because Lars is not that strong. Lars can't even beat regular Heihachi in a 1v1. So the idea that he can beat not just Devil Kazuya, which he can't, but the idea that he can survive true Devil Kazuya.
Yeah, true Devil Kazuya.
No, that's a joke. That is like beyond a joke that he would even last 2 seconds. But
gotta have his moment. Gotta have his moment.
Did anyone else find it funny that the last game brought in this new devil form for Kazuya, which is because they're always giving him new versions of the devil form, but they always will go back to the shitty just purple skin thing, which just looks terrible in the modern graphics.
Yeah.
Like, they gave him a new one for Blood Vengeance. Then they gave him another. I think that one might have been in 7, but I might be misremembering. But then he has a new form in 7 that's based on the original, but it actually looks quite good. That's where the
has all the eyes on it too.
Yeah, that's the part I didn't like, but.
Well, it's very angelic, though, because like Angel's supposed to have all the eyes, so it's kind of a cool reference.
But that form is not in this game. He just goes back to the original form, and then with the purple skin, and then jumps to the new one. Like, where do these old forms keep going? Like that could have been a cool thing to like escalate the threat at some point. Let's say the first fight between the two, you fight Kazuya, then he's going to go purple devil, then he's going to go to the next devil form, then the next one. Like he underestimates Jin, so he incrementally like, puts more power into it, and then eventually he's just like, "Bitch, get out of here!" And Jin's like, no, daddy."
Which was funny too, because in the Blood Vengeance, I know like none of the films are canon, but in that one 3D movie, I forgot what it's called. What's that one called?
Blood Vengeance.
Ties
Yeah.
or something? It is Blood Vengeance? Okay.
Yeah.
So Bloodlines and Blood Vengeance. That's why I got confused.
Yeah, Blood Vengeance is the
Bloodline
2011.
Rebellion. Don't forget, they're always putting blood in it.
Yeah, they always put blood in it. So in Blood Vengeance, it was pretty implied that like Devil Jin's form was actually pretty dang strong, but he's just like mindless. That's the disadvantage. And I always got that impression too. I always thought that ever since Tekken 3, it was implied that Devil Jin is stronger than Devil Kazuya, but he just can't control it. So it's like the Incredible Hulk problem, right? He can't direct his focus. But then in 8, they just flip the script, and it's like, nah, like Devil Jin can't even hang with like barely transformed Kazuya. And I'm like, when did this happen? It's never been that imbalanced before. But oh well.
Well, no. Jin is like suffering internally. He's having emotional problems, and that's why it's affecting his powers. That's the arc that they're going.
I wanted
with.
to slam the table and go emotional damage, but like it would have made all my shit shake and fall over, and I would have been so stupid. I would have been like emotional oh no, and just watch everything fall over.
Personally, I feel like what I want to get out of a story mode is like I want to know more about the characters in the roster of the fighting game. I don't necessarily just want to be like seeing one character's story, but like that's what they were going for. So I'm trying my best to lean in and pinpoint laser on this is Jin's story. We gotta love Jin. Let's focus on Jin and not focus on the 32 other characters. No, sorry, like not that many. But even then, I hate to be the guy. I hate to be like a Twitter guy, you know, because Twitter people love to not forgive people and stuff like that. But I'm just looking at this and I'm just like, Tekken 6 happened. It's always just like, Jin is getting this redemption. He's believing he can save. He's trying to be a good guy. Tekken 6 happened. Yeah, it's so hard to just leave that behind.
That's something I really liked about the opening is the fact that Kazuya, you're a menace. You have to be defeated, and Kazuya's just like bullshit. You started this war.
Yeah, Kazuya's like, the person who started this war.
But then it's like they kind of just ignore it afterwards. It's like what? It's like, comparatively, the same thing with Heihachi. They just sweep all of it under the rug to make it basic good versus evil. But like, why can't we use the shades of grey and make it a way more interesting fight?
Yeah. I will not forget about my past. Press X.
Well, Tekken, it would have been really was the biggest problem. Like that never should have happened. That dumb world war, because the entire point of adding Jin to the series was to have a more generic protagonist who's not a villain. But then they made him Kazuya anyway with that whole, like, I'm going to start World War III just to serve my own interests and get rid of this devil thing. And it's like, but you're causing so much death.
I mean, he also wanted to do that because he's like 1,000 years from now, maybe people won't be able to handle it. So let's handle it now. That was like one of the reasons why he wanted to do it now.
But that's still dumb. You don't have to invent that reason.
Yes, it is still dumb.
What I mean? Especially since I'm pretty sure Azazel was made up in 6 anyway. I think before that, the devil gene was like its own separate thing, and the devil was also his own thing in Tekken 2. It's confusing.
Because they've been trying to explain the origin of the Devil Gene since introduced it in 4, and they've never succeeded. Because like 5 was like, oh, Jinpachi had it, and then it's like, no, that's a completely different thing. 6, Azazel, but we still don't know anything about how that connects to the Mishimas. Then we found it in 7. Oh no, it was this other family who brought it into the Mishimas. But then how did they get it from Azazel? And now this game, it's like, oh, I guess Azazel just gave it to one of Kazumi's ancestors, and that's literally it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is like. Yeah,
and also think actually, if this story also loses a great opportunity with Miguel. Like, imagine if he showed up.
Brings that up.
If he showed up and then Jin had to like prove himself
confront
to him. Like he would, and I know like, what they did in the actual game with
Kazuya.
The guy at the tournament that Jin fights.
Oh, Leroy.
Yes, what they did with him actually quite good.
That's nice.
I think. But it would have been way better if that was Miguel, and like Miguel was like, "No, you have to save. Fuck this! You have to save the world."
Yeah, and
Alternatively, if when Kaz is like bullshit, you started this war, then Miguel just comes flying in and just like whacks Jin with the right hook and like fucking cleans him out.
It's really funny was like when I saw that scene, I'm like, Leroy's like, "Hi there, Jin. I'm gonna help you out here. Gonna bring you up." And it's like, in the Bloodline, it's like, "Get out of my way! I'm gonna fucking beat up Heihachi. You're in my way." It's a very funny contrast. So it's like how they handle Leroy here compared to the anime.
Yeah, well, that's what was so weird. Like everyone thought like that was dumb to even add Leroy to the anime. Just a random thought, real quick. Tell me what y'all think about this. It could have been a cooler idea, I think. Of course, Jin and Kazuya got to be the final fight, right? But
Yeah,
I think
sure.
I think it could have been more interesting if the person who cleansed Kazuya was June, and she actually achieves the angel form and takes away the devil. That would have been like way more interesting to me because like Angel's always been a lady in the past games.
Yes.
I don't mind Devil Jin being Angel. It still works, but I'm just wondering what y'all think about that. Because it would let June actually do something and also bring back her cleansing power and all that.
Actually, Jun not doing, only showing up in a cutscene really impressed me. I was like, oh, I really thought she was going to, like the entire build-up of him
Impressed
going
in a bad
to-
way, right? Like disappointed, you mean? You were like, oh, wow.
Yeah,
They kept showing
I
her in all
actually
the
kind of wanted her
trailers.
to
And
be like in the story somehow because the game was hyping up the return of Jun. Jun is finally back, and she's
Plus,
in a cutscene, and
we
that's
got
all.
more Last of Us 2 nonsense, too, because just like with Asuka and Fang, in one of the trailers, like they purposely show the interaction between Jun and Kazuya, but they make it look like it's in the story mode, not like it's a
Really?
fight
I
intro.
thought it was like a character
where-
trailer.
Yeah, but you're still thinking like, well, they did it more than just that one though. But it's where he's like, so you've been alive this whole time, and she's like, So like you think that's gonna happen, and it don't. And even if it was just a
Oh, I
character
didn't know if
trailer,
they
like
did that.
why her and Kazuya if that's not true, you know? But
So that is a little clickbait. I mean, everybody thought like I feel like Jun was gonna interact with these characters and stuff. Like that's the
Yeah,
whole
'cause
point.
they
imagine
brought her
Harada
back.
being
She's
like,
in
even
the
I thought
game.
she would do something.
Yeah. Okay, I won't mention it, but still, yeah.
Oh, is it more leaks? My bad.
The
Yeah.
point is the leaks revolve around like Jun. That's all I'll say. Like that, I'm just saying that, like because it just that's and, yeah.
Oh, should we talk about how Eddie's apparently gonna get his own story, and like everyone's gonna get a
I wanna
little
talk-
story
Well-
expansion?
Yes, I want to talk about that as a compliment.
It's not his own story. It's like they're doing one. I think it's like each season will get a small thing with those characters together.
Yes.
So it'll be Eddie and the other season 1 characters put together. Of course, we don't know how many guest characters are going to do this time. So it might be 5 characters. It might.
Yeah, so the point right now, what we know is that probably the 4 DLC characters, when they're all out, they're gonna have a short like DLC story explaining what they were doing during Tekken 8 story mode, and that sounds great. That's exactly what I've been saying. Like I want to see what's been going on with the side characters, what's been going on with the rest of the roster, and if even though it's not a lot of characters, it's still something. It's still like giving characters to these guys, and I actually do want to know what's up with Eddie after Tekken 6. You know,
Yeah.
as long as you know the backup dancer Chloe thing isn't canon.
Too bad the
Which I'm sure
hairstyle
it
is
isn't.
canon.
That hairstyle is canon. It is. It's gonna be. It's gonna be in the story mode.
I lost a bet. Or I'm gonna be in a movie and they maybe wear the same generic haircut that every character in these games has to have now.
Oh yeah, you have the character popularity like chart here.
Yeah, I'm
oh my
just
gosh,
posting that for
Dragunov
anyone who wants
surpassed
to look at
Reina
it.
now.
Ooh, I didn't expect Leroy to be so far down.
Yeah, Leroy and like Raven. It's like some of these characters like wait what?
I wonder if
I
they like
didn't
really overcorrected and nerfed them a lot because Zafina and Leroy
Yeah.
Leroy especially was the most infamous, but even Zafina because she wasn't like too overpowered, she didn't get touched very much. They didn't nerf her very much in Tekken 7, so she kept being like a dominant force in the game. And I think she's more normalized now, which is funny because she's got even more Azazel attacks in 8 than she did before.
Oh yeah.
But she's still like canonically weaker in gameplay wise. I was surprised
Really?
that Asuka was so popular. I was like, oh, there's people actually playing Asuka.
But now Asuka
But,
doesn't look that. I remember Asuka was more popular in another poll. I saw Lily in the top 10, I believe, but now she's a lot lower. I met a lot of Lilies when I was playing ranked.
Dragunov is only popular because he's OP and has like stayed OP. I bet he
well, I
got
mean,
to
maybe
keep
he's
his
also
plus
fun
frames.
to play.
He is fun to play, but he's got like the best get in move in the entire series, and he's probably still got it. Asuka, sorry, it's a little mini rant, but Asuka lost a lot of her plus frames. Like, a lot of her setups are just gone, and I was like, why did they take that from me? There was no reason to do that. And then also, they took away one of her unblockables, where she just spins, and it eventually becomes unblockable. It doesn't do that anymore. It's just a really plus unblock mid. And I was like, why? And I think there is still one unblockable version, but I'm pretty sure all of them used to be unblockable when she spun for a long time. Like, you could do 1-2 into it, or you could do another setup into it, and now it's just the one raw, if you hold it down, is unblockable. Snake knows what I'm talking about. He played Asuka. He knows, like, the dumb unblockable thing.
I don't know too much about Asuka. All I know about Asuka is flip. Okay, I got you. Now I can do a combo.
The back three? Yeah. The back
Just
three is
like,
funny because you can do it twice in a row to try and catch people, or, like, if they try to whiff punish you, if you press 2 after it, she just flies in with the punch anyway, and it's like baiting you for trying to punish her.
Oh, yeah, because I know Asuka, that's like one of her core mechanics is the flip launcher. Like, that's what I see often.
Yeah, but what makes Asuka cool is that, like, she's a very safe character. All of her launchers are not punishable, and a lot of her counter hit moves launch and start combos too. So unless you want to be stupid and go for a risky thing, you don't have to with Asuka. She's an extremely safe character. And she got a lot of parries. She's got
actually
4.
One other thing I want to compliment, in fact, a pretty good thing about, like, the story mode, in my opinion at least, is I like how they did Reina. Like, I think Reina was actually not too badly implemented, because Reina is a character, while the entire conflict is happening, you constantly, like, wonder, like, what's up with her angle, like, what is her plan? Because, like, yeah, she's helping the good guys, but you don't necessarily know exactly why. And once you get to the ending, the post-credit scene, it's like, oh, because this entire journey for her was just to find out about activating her own devil gene. And I felt like, yeah, that's not too bad actually for an arc for the entire story. And I kind of like that actually for her. Very, not like too over the top or complicated. And, like, she's just kind of like in the background trying to, like, solve her little arc, and you finally get to that, and it's like, oh, now it makes sense. Like, what her purpose is. One of the, like, in my opinion, like, the best handled supporting character in this like story mode, in my opinion.
Yeah. She's only guilty of being pushed really hard, just like Lars, because she also should not have stood a chance against True Devil, but her voice actress just nails it so much, and she sounds so fucking cool, so I don't mind. Like, when she does a little eyebrow raise, she's like, let's go. I'm like, she's just too cool. I can't even get mad at her for, like
I can see, like, why like, honestly, whether or not gameplay wise, I can still see why she's so, like, a popular character. Out of all the newcomers, like, people love her the most, and she was the most popular character in the game too, which is why I'm trying to learn how to counter her a bit more, because I know when the really good Reina players are out, it's kind of scary.
Freaking King being this popular is so funny to me. Like,
King,
that's so great.
Just nobody can handle the grabs.
Yeah,
but I mean, King's awesome too.
We got new throws. My buddy's trying to learn Tekken, and he got it for free. I gave him a free copy, and
nice.
He's having a fun time with it. He's playing Alyssa, but, like, I played King just for fun. I'm not even a good King player, but because I learned him for that one video on my channel, I've been trying to get a bit better. And he just told me immediately, he's like, I fucking can't stand this character. Like, because I was just destroying him with King. And it's not because I'm a good King, it's because, like you said, people just can't deal with the throws. And not only can King throw you more than ever, but he has, like, free setups into it now where he'll hit you and then run at you, and it's guaranteed you have to guess which throw I'm going to do, because you can't armor out of this, you can't sidestep this, you have to guess which throw is coming. You better not guess wrong, or you're going to lose a huge chunk. Plus, I forgot, they added the simple input option to his chain grabs now too. Did y'all know about this?
I know. Wait, what? Simple options?
Before in the Tekken games with the King chain throw, it was a whole sequence of buttons you had to press to get the next part of the chain throw, and you had to memorize it. Now you just press triangle or square, and it'll give you one of the two paths.
Oh, they've made it a lot easier.
Just mash square to get this path, or just mash triangle to get this path. So you can do the whole thing. Now the downside is it reduces the damage, so it's not going to hurt nearly as much.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you're a really good King player, you input, like, very impressively.
Well, yeah, or you can just cheat. Like, there's another way to cheat. You just map all 4 buttons to a part of the controller you don't use, like right analog stick, and you just press down on that the whole time, and it'll think you're doing the whole actual input and give you the true version. And you know you did the true version because there's blue sparks now. Whenever you nail the right part of the chain grab, there's little blue sparkles. Also, they added... also, this is not an easy thing. This actually requires skill. They added true versions of his giant swing and maybe one other throw. So you know how King's giant swing is half circle back and then forward and then throw, right? Or forward and then half circle. My bad, right?
Well,
if
we don't
you
play
do
King,
that,
so not too sure.
well, that's what it is. So
Okay.
just like all Tekken inputs in most fighting games, you don't have to hit every single part of that direction. It's just got to be most of it, right? If you miss one of the diagonals during the half circle, it still counts, right? And it always has for a while. But if you do it correctly now and at the right time, it's kind of like doing an Electric Wind God Fist. It's a just frame. If you time it correctly, you get a blue spark version of his giant swing, and the camera angle changes, and it adds a bit of like a wind, like kind of effect when he does it. And you're like, oh shit, here comes the really damaging giant swing. And I just find that cool. They added like a God Fist to King with the just framing.
That seems, King might be my next character I'll be playing, maybe, but I'm not too sure if I'm ready for that just yet.
There's a great video where I played another big YouTuber when there was the early playtesting, and he's not really he's an anime fighting game player, not so much a Tekken player, right?
Okay.
And he used Kuma, and I watched his video because I didn't know who he was at all, and someone pointed in my comment section like, you just casually beat like this million subscriber YouTuber. I'm like, oh, I did? So I went to his channel, and sure enough, I'm one of the first people that he fights online, and he's like feeling himself because he was playing arcade mode and like winning, and he's playing Kuma. He's like, oh man, this guy's screwed. This guy's so screwed. And I just start throwing him. He's like, wait, what's happening? Oh shit, guys. Fuck. Wait, no, okay, next round. He's like, no. And at one point he like breaks character and just starts laughing and goes, he's beating me. It's like, yeah, I am beating you.
Yo, it's my first rank match. Yeah! So I have a high chance of fighting somebody who's like a pro or something, because there's very limited people got this game. All right, this is weird. No! Oh. Okay, hold on. Watch this rage art, bro. What? Now you pissing me off. Stupid. What is that about? He just grabbed me? Hey! Hold on, stop! Yo, he's hurting me. No. Stop, King. No! Bro! Stop! I got him, that's me. Watch the triangle. Huh? No! What happened? Bro, he cheated.
I was laughing because he'd be like feeling himself for landing one auto combo. Then I would just get up and avoid the move for his Oki and like whiff punish him. And he just starts yelling, stop! As I'm comboing him. But yeah, I'm done. Sorry, I'm talking too much.
Yeah. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about for Tekken 8 story?
No. Can't think of anything.
Excited for the DLC story, but overall, like I said, I liked it when I played it. I was still very high up. I was like, ooh, the rush, yes, yeah. However, and I start having issues with it a bit.
I think Harada also said that the story stuff will be free, even if you don't have the characters.
Yes, and you get to play the characters in the story mode too.
As a fun way of giving players a little preview of what the characters are like. Pretty cool.
Okay, I'm gonna send a very funny tweet. Keep in mind, this tweet I believe was made last year. Can someone read that? Because it's very funny.
I'll do it then. Okay, I'll do it. Kazuya, give up Jin. You'll never defeat me without your devil form. Jin. GG passes out. Cut to Dream World. Jin, the real Tekken was the friends you made along the way. Jin awakens and transforms into Angel Jin. Kazuya, NANI? Q Tekken 3. Jin Team Remix.
And this tweet was made last year.
Oh no.
It's so good. Absolutely
He's
amazing
like you.
job.
He predicted everything. The prophecy is real.
Everyone in the comments is doing the what do you call it? Apollo the gift of prophecy meme. the random internet user just trying to do being comedic. Apollo the gift of prophecy.
I just love the GG passes out.
It's so good. This tweet is
just
so
admitting
good.
that he's lost. GG passes out.
Everyone's like, how did you know? You knew? You got some explaining to do.
Is Harada gonna be like, what's up, crackhead again?
What's up, cracker? Yep.
Now let me rewind time to the beginning.
We're gonna mainly talk about Tekken in this episode, just so you guys know. Maybe some MK, but mainly
What?
Tekken, just so you guys know.
No, I thought this was the Has Been Hotel episode. You told me this was the Has Been Hotel episode. I've researched
That's
all
so
the
random
lore.
out of nowhere.
I've read all the prequel comics. I was so ready. Son of a gun.
I don't even know that existed.
Is this how Snake felt last time with the Tekken video and not preparing? Dang it, I feel like I'm at such a loss. Oh,
yeah, I'm
no.
gonna sing all the songs. Addicted to your poison or something.
Oh no! Don't do that guy's one. So I don't. Wait, what's in your drink, Sonic? Just ice? Oh, okay.
I do want to talk about
What?
Onslaught very briefly.
Yeah, we will talk about Onslaught
Yeah.
eventually.
Three
what did you say about
timelines
the
of
ice?
Kuai Liang.
We
ice
gotta meet our
thingy?
combat quota because this is not the Tekken cast, the Tekken Kings. Oh, that could have worked though. The Tech Kings.
Tekken King's actually isn't Tekken King a rank in Tekken?
I'm not sure if anymore because in Tekken 8 they removed a lot of the titles because they made it easier to rank up. It's now 3 titles per color instead of 4. So you rank up like way faster.
Yes. Tekken King is a rank in Tekken.
Nice.
Tekken King, Tekken Emperor. It's like almost like the bottom part of like
King of
Tekken.
Iron Fist, if you will.
That's hilarious.
You know what's also hilarious is that apparently like the starting ranks like Dan, right? Like 8th
First
Dan,
Dan,
or 10th
second
Dan, or
Dan.
1st Dan. That's like the rank that Hwoarang is. He's a Dan. So that just shows you how pussy Hwoarang is because you pass him up right away.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense that he's a Dan. I mean, Street Fighter, Dan Hibiki, you know, makes sense.
He's supposed to be the Ken. Come on now. During the last time we were recording the podcast and now, I was still kind of like in between, like kind of back to work and also still like in Chinese New Year vacation time. So I still had like a lot of like vacationing going around my family. One thing that became kind of a thing that we were doing that became more popular is kind of got into crane machines recently. Like,
Nice.
you know, like that kind of crane machine. So I could like show you guys some of my like things that we've gotten here. Here we got a cat, as you can see. It's a long boy. It's a long boy.
I love weird stuff like that. It's a
I
good
think our
call.
family-
Long man.
I love that commercial. Our family called this guy Lanky Long Dong. That's what we're calling this. This is like
Hang on. What does that mean in your language? Because that means something very different in English.
It does,
I'm pretty
but
sure it still is what it means, right? Stong is a funny word, right?
Sure. We'll go with that.
And then let's see what else I've got. I got like a lot of stuff.
His name
like,
is literally Long Skinny Penis.
Okay, anyways, so
Lanky long dog.
got some other like anime dogs, and yep, we were
There
talking
you
about
go.
Pokemon. There's Pokemon
Yeah, we
right
were.
there. It's actually
Yo,
pretty good
Yo, is that
condition.
Chris Chan's mom?
wait, don't.
Oh my gosh!
I didn't want to say, but don't acknowledge that we just talked about Pokemon and Palworld when you're gonna put that later in the episode. You fool! You've ruined the continuity that you decided on.
We now jump back in time before we started the episode.
So you're recording right now, Snake, because I saw you're clapping.
Yeah.
Snake clapped, so I recorded right now. Future Sonic.
How is my microphone, by the way?
I don't think it's too bad, but it does sound different actually. You sound good, dog, right now. Yeah, you sound good.
Like, the only thing about Discord is even if you change your
Professional.
mics. Oh shit! Deep throat that thing.
He's gonna do.
No,
no, you have bad
I'll
ideas.
deep throat this one.
What the frick is?
oh,
What
the
is that? Like a light super uni?
Directional microphone.
So you have 2 microphones or something?
Yeah, I decided to get this one because I figured it could be good for video stuff, like when I'm on screen.
Cool. All right, let me quickly skim through the direct. I skipped 15 minutes of the direct, and I finally see a game that I'm interested in. Do you know about? Maybe you might have more interested games than I am. I see some Japanese RPG shenanigans. Do you know about the crab Souls-like?
No.
Long story short, it's just a cute hermit crab that like is in the ocean. It's got this really cartoony style, and they're literally calling it the crab Souls-like. It looks pretty good actually. It looks like really cute and fun.
Is that actually what it's called? The Crab Souls like?
Well, that's what the developers call it, but it's called Another Crab's Treasure. But they claim it's a crab Souls-like.
I mean, it seems like a very good fit for that genre because most people, when they play a Souls-like for a while, get very crabby.
The game is like, it's a hermit crab, so you have to literally pick up like boxes and trash to put on the hermit crab, and everything you put on the character will give it a different ability. And it's like you pick up the stuff around you and you use that as weapons. And it's got some platforming too, so it's like, oh, this really looks not too shabby.
cereal. So.
Oh shit! Yeah, I forgot they're re-releasing SMT5. Oh
Alright,
no! Fuck.
It was bland, which is fine because it's not a live stream, so I got to watch the whole thing at once. Yay! All right, now we just wait for 10:30, Elden Ring DLC ship. But before that, how do we want to like do this episode? Like,
Battlefront Classic Collection. What the fuck?
No, Snake.
With the it's got all the DLC stuff from the Xbox version. Because I never played that stuff because I didn't do DLC back then. It's like Kit Fisto's in there and everything. Holy shit!
Oh yeah, the Star Wars one. Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, but when I saw SMT5, I was like, oh, they're putting a girl in it. It's like, so this is just the same shit they do with Persona. Every Persona re-release, they're like, oh, let's put in a new girl who gets all the focus, and they are universally awful characters.
First, I was like, what's wrong with adding a girl? But then you added the like gets all the focus. I was like, oh, now I see why it's annoying.
Yeah, like you get to the one in Persona 5 Royal, she has no story impact. Yeah, she has no story impact until the end of the game, but she keeps showing up in these scenes, and it's like, oh no, all the main characters are friends with her. They're all concerned about her, and then she doesn't matter until the very end of the game, and in that arc, the rest of the team mean nothing. They are worthless to the story. I'm like, they didn't learn from Persona 4 when they did the exact same thing. I mean, the only difference is that the one in 4 is like this horrible bitch for no reason because she's a tsundere, but like they just did a really terrible one. And then the one in 5 is just almost devoid of personality. She's very bland.
Well, if the game sales, they ain't gonna learn, and Persona sales. So what you gonna do?
It's like Pokemon. It's the Pokemon problem.
True, and but don't worry, Palworld's gonna kill them.
Maybe not, but it did show that you can make a game on a budget and people will still like it as long as your concept is solid.
Yeah, a lot of my friends love Palworld, and like even I appreciate some of the designs and the.
I like watching like political commentary channels or like people who just respond to a controversy. Like I guess it's commentary channels in general, right? They just like cover other YouTubers and stuff. And a lot of them are playing Palworld in the background while they're talking about like serious.
Oh,
topics.
Interesting!
They just got some Palworld gameplay. It was cracking me up.
I guess it was the newest game like a month ago, so I guess people played that a lot.
What I found funny is that one animal in Palworld had are they just called monsters? What are they called in Palworld?
They're called pals, but just call them Pokemons. No one's gonna remember that. They're called pals. Okay. Yes, you catch them in a ball.
There's that one that walks all like. It walks all like feminine, and apparently it loves humans.
You mean the heart on the chest? Is that the one you're talking about? That is the most like that is the most like holy shit. Like I cannot believe this. This is like one of those things that people with fan fiction levels would make in Pokemon. They decided to put that into like Palworld. I had to get my friends down and talk to them and say, "Do you know why this one is very popular? Read the bio."
It's funny too, because like you could think that it's meant to just be silly and not like an erotic thing. Like, oh no, this random pal is like in love with me and won't leave me alone. Like it could be just like kind of goofy, but of course there's the people who want to bang it, I'm sure. But what I found funny is that that's an actual thing that exists in our world too. There are some species of animal that are more attracted to humans than their own kind. I forget the term for it though.
Really?
And it mostly happens with domesticated animals, like farm animals. And like maybe some pets, and it could be on a case-to-case basis too. But I just found that funny. Like I think an example is ostriches. Like if you raise ostriches in captivity, they're more attracted to the owner than the other ostriches.
That is a very interesting thing. I've never known that.
Yeah, I forgot the term for it. There's an actual scientific term, but.
Yeah, that specific POW, I wasn't even like I didn't like pay attention to its design, but then I looked at it again. I'm like, there's a fucking heart on the crotch too. It's like they know. And I also saw there was like a meme that was very funny, and it says like what was it? It's like it's just a picture that says like on Rule 34 there's like 100 pictures of Palworld, and then someone on the bottom is like a picture that says it now has begun or some shit like that. I went to check.
It has begun.
Yeah. And then I was just like, really funny meme. I went to check. It has 1,000 now. It's like holy shit. I'm gonna assume half of it is just that lizard. I'm just gonna assume. One more reason to hate Pokemon that are humanoid, which I've always hated because I thought they were uncreative, but now I dislike it even more. I guess the Palworlds, maybe they did that too then, some of them.
Oh yeah, they did.
Actually,
No, but I'm just saying, like, even in Pokemon, I always hated like
Yeah.
Is
I
it
remember you talked about this
Lucario
before.
who's the blue guy? It looks like a wolf on 2 legs. I've
That's
always
the
hated
most
those.
popular one.
I know, but that's
Gardevoir.
why I hate it.
Yeah,
What about the
sexy
bunny?
one?
Low punny. That's the one that everyone's.
Low punny is also weird, but it almost gets a pass because apparently it's literally inspired by the Playboy Bunny concept, so that's why it like looks like the Playboy Bunny logo
but
and
the
why it's a
Playboy
bit like
Bunny is also humanoid. The logo, but because
it does. It has a suit and tie, so like it is like a you could argue it's like the women are Playboy bunnies and like some of the animal version. It's still weird.
So if
but
it's more based off of something that exists, you would be more okay with it. I see.
or it's got to be something really weird. Like I like
Lucario is
Hitmonlee
based off
because
of
Hitmonlee
Anubis.
is so weird. Like Hitmonlee has no head or anything. It's like his head is his torso.
Potato.
So it's
True,
a bit
that is a
more
funny
tolerable.
guy. Yeah.
But then Hitmonchamp is like, I don't like him because he's just a dude. He even has like clothes and shit. And I'm like, does the Pokemon
that's
grow
true.
clothes in the wild? This
Yeah,
is so stupid.
yeah.
There's
But-
that one guy with the stick, and it evolves, and it has like the metal like stick, and I'm like the construction like pipe and stuff. I'm like, really? That
The stick
evolves with
evolves.
it?
I think the original concept behind those drawings was probably supposed to be that like it just picked it up and the guy took a photo of it, like it happened to be carrying it at the time, but then like they just made every single one have that because it's a video game. So like it was pixels, right? So they all had to share the same. You know, that would have been a cool feature though, if like when you found those Pokemon that can use items, if like they had different items each time you found them, like they made different art for each one for random encounters. That would have been kind of cool.
I feel like there was a
But-
concept kind of like that, but it's not like the items. Like missing nose are like everyone is different because they're from A to Z, and then there's like that one with like every time you see one, it has a different pattern on the body and stuff. But item that does sound kind of fun.
Like a tiger.
The anyways, yeah, we're just having fun chatting about Pokemon because we love Game Freak. They're the best. Keep on pumping out them mediocre
I
games.
didn't even know who they were. I've never played the game, but no, I know it's made by Game Freak.
But that's the Pokemon company basically. But anyways.
Oh, they're not the Palworld company. Okay, my bad.
No, that's that's different. Game Freak
So
is
the
cool.
Palworld company made me laugh because he brought up like, it's kind of, I don't know. It depends on your perspective. You'd either be upset by his perspective or like just go, he's not wrong. He said like, I don't think you always have to innovate. Sometimes you just make what people want.
Interesting.
And I was like, yeah, good point.
That's not entirely wrong.
Which is kind of funny because the way people view it is this thing is innovating in a way that Pokemon hasn't in like 20 years. So
Guns. The secret was guns. You just had to give the Pokemon trainers guns.
Guns and
Basically.
slavery and like killing Pokemons and also
Slavery?
like cap. You don't know about this? You basically get your pals to make your camp. And also, eventually, they will start to feel like tired because like work conditions and stuff like that. You can also so there are like also like the Team Rocket in that world basically, and you have to fight them. You can also capture them.
yeah, you
Turn them into your pals.
you can capture people and have them work on your farms and stuff.
And you can
They have
sell
like
them in the black
Fallout
market.
level slave collars, like that'll explode their head if they don't do it or something, or like I don't know.
I think
They
one of my
follow
favorite
the-
images of Palworld is like it's one of like the pals where it's like a doll, but they stick it onto like a stick and wrap it around and put it on a doll, and there's a sign that says "You can be replaced," and put it in front of the pals or something like that.
That is pretty funny.
Yeah, it is that absurdity.
Yeah, when you first described them building your camp, my brain went to like irrational, and then like what I bet it actually is in the game. At first I was like, well, humans have always used animals to like build stuff. Like we used ox to carry things, or like we used like this animal for that. But then I was like, oh, I'm actually picturing now just like them actually having to build like the tents and
With
shit.
a hammer.
And, like,
Like a hammer and nail.
building
It's, like,
houses. This little creature just forced to
Yes,
work.
basically. Come over here, Lucario ripoff, and build me weapons.
Dude, I would be so scared of a revolt because if they're intelligent enough to use tools, they can definitely fuck me up.
Yeah, I'm curious if they'll ever like add them because the game is still in early access, so who knows what crazy things that they can always still add what people want.
Despite how intelligent other primates are, I'm pretty sure they are unable to do even like basic building tasks. So we don't have to worry about like the orangutan
kind of
revolt or anything. But these pals could actually escape and do stuff.
So
So, welcome to the
Okay,
Combat
everybody
Kings,
ready?
everybody.
I got a really funny
No,
intro.
we're not going to start that way. We're going to do an actual intro. I'm sure Sonic has one prepared, right?
I still think it would be very funny if if you were recording, I'll put the Palworld conversation somewhere. in this
No,
episode.
I was recording, but you're not putting it in because it's a stupid way to start.
I'm not gonna start it that way. I'm just gonna like put it somewhere in the episode. Yeah, we're gonna put the Heart Lizard conversation in there somehow.
We now return to the present. No wait, I mean before the Tekken conversation.
Don't acknowledge that we just talked about Pokemon and Palworld when you're going to put that later in the episode. You fool. You've ruined the continuity that you decided on.
I just put our Pokemon discussion right there. Anyways, let's let's continue. I have. Oh, what was that sound? Did you hear that?
I did. That scared me.
You did. Okay. So Snake,
Yeah.
for some reason.
Oh, it must have been me.
Yeah, we'll see that in the playback, but it was
Jump
kind of funny.
scare. Just keep you awake during the podcast. Damn.
Here we got like a funny looking jellyfish, and check it out.
Dude, how big were these crane arms? Must have been huge to pick these things up.
Pretty big, yeah, if you can get these big ones. And one of
It is
my
awesome.
favorite things that my brother got, this. Can you tell what this is?
No.
Hmm.
It is a French fry.
Oh, okay.
And in the claw machine, when we were there, it was kind of like a whole entire place was stacked like this, so you could try to like grab it up and it would just like roll down. And because of that, it was actually incredibly easy to grab. And the fun thing about this is if you manage to successfully grab 5 French fries,
You get a boy.
you get a combo.
Oh, you get the cup. Nice.
Yeah, you get the whole bag. It's actually very fun because when you try to grab one, like 3 will drop down. So it's like my brother was like, "Come on, just drop," and gets like 3. So yeah, it was pretty fun in general. I got one picture I can send to you guys. Here you go.
There you go.
I'll send you guys this picture. This is our full collections of things that we grabbed during our crane machine.
Jesus
hype,
Christ.
Basically.
Nice.
Yeah. So what's fun in
Oh,
our
that one's
country
boba.
is, yeah, there's like a boba like doll. I didn't bring it over, but like it's in the bag. It's literally like a cute like boba doll. Grabbing dolls is impossible and very very difficult. It's like it's basically you're gonna have to spend
Impossible
like
and
the full.
difficult, he says, while showing that half the shit there is the doll.
But this whole table of stuff is about like 45-ish USD, I would assume. But
That's not bad.
yeah, it's actually pretty good. The snacks, the drinks, those are very easy. It's like you grab them and it's like it feels very. It's like you just need to do it like 2 or 3 times and usually you'll get them. You'll like bounce down and they'll be like, "Yes, I got the bag of
I wish-
Doritos," and stuff like that. That's
I
a big
wish
thing
we
in our
had
country.
that. We don't have candy crane machines. I mean, we don't have food crane machines, but we do have candy where I live. So like, there's a candy crane machine, but that one is like specifically for little kids because you can't lose. If you don't get anything, it gives you another try until you eventually get something.
Okay.
But you get like a
Yeah.
tiny little candy, you know.
Yeah, it's easier to get the food-related stuff. That's why it's more fun to just like get random shit, just because it's like
Yeah.
it's fun to get
Well,
those. So
Look at the
that's
ramen.
actually,
It's like designed to be grabbed. It's like bigger at the top and it has like a little lip on it. You know, it's like made to be grabbed.
yeah. The instant ramen was actually really fun because every time I grab it, it'll be like it'll drop immediately and it'll be like dun, 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 dun. Oh, failed. Try it again. Dun, 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 and it drops in and stuff like that.
Oh, I guess I'm wrong. My bad. I thought it'd be easier to grab him because of his shape, but damn.
Oh yeah, the cranes are like one of those like scammy like drop and then like goes
That
back
was-
as like, oh really loose.
Yeah.
So that's
That
why
was
it's
going to
easier
be my
to grab
follow-up
things that
question.
bounce.
If the cranes are ass, like over here, they're also scams where I live too. Like
Oh
they're
yeah,
weak.
for sure.
Scams.
But I mean, the food isn't though. The food is very easy to grab. But overall, it's very fun. So that was one of my events that I went through during the past 2 weeks. I don't want to hog up the time. I do have other things I can say, but you guys should share some of your lovely weekends and how you've been doing.
I guess I'll go next then. I have been slowly but surely working my way through other projects that aren't videos, which means I have been really slow on editing videos, unfortunately. I got the final.
Tekken 7.
Oh, that's a million years away. That
No!
I got the final version of my visual novel released, the Persona 3 one. That's all
Nice.
dusted.
Cool.
I might still do like one extra version with some assets from the remake, but it's not essential. I'm done with that for now. That's good. And then I've been releasing my Fate fan fiction, where I've been going one chapter a day, which at first was fine because it was just release the chapters that were already written. But then it got to a point where I was like, oh, I'm adding more chapters, and this chapter is becoming 2 or 3 chapters. Then I've not written it. I need to, I still need to work on the chapter for release today. So, so there's it's proceeding slowly. But once I've done this particular chapter, or the next chapter, what have you, it's back to just releasing the ones that are already written. So that should be fine. But that's one of the reasons why I've not been working on anything else or playing anything else other than when I played through Tekken 8, of course. But we'll talk about that later.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I saw you keep announcing your Fate chapters from Discord and Twitter. Like, oh, announcement. Snake's got an update. Fate. Lots of times.
Yeah. It's the whole thing's going to be about 25 chapters long. So, and people seem to be liking it so far, although I have had like one person who was pointing out some of the ways in which these details aren't accurate to the Fate canon. I'm like, fuck, it's all over now. The hardcore Fate fans are not, hardcore Fate fans won't like it. Because that thing, you know, you
become the next Garnt.
Other people aren't pointing this out, so it's either like some deep lore shit that no one knows about except this one person, or stuff people are willing to let go. But either way, that one comment's just stuck with me. So I don't know.
Understandable. One comment can usually ruin your day. Thanks for the 100 nice comments. Oh, this one guy says I'm cringe.
Yeah, pretty much.
You fell off.
You're mid. Yeah, that's right. I remember I said that before. Oh, I really like that orb. Look at that Zafina orb. Ooh.
I mean, the orb is old. I'm just using it because it works well with the other stuff.
That fingernail thing is
yeah,
creepy.
what's up with that?
Oh,
it looks so cool.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
It's like a whole entire...
There's several things. It's like the Shang Tsung claw.
Oh, yes, okay. Yes.
I have a little snake ring on my thumb.
Snake,
that's really cool.
Snake bracelet, 2 heads.
You've got like...
And the skeleton hand. So I look like some kind of necromancer.
Yeah.
I'm better necromancer than Quan Chi.
That's actually...
if you're a necromancer, then you can revive the love for Mortal Kombat 1. You can like revive the hype and get everyone to come back.
Hey yo!
I'm a necromancer, not a miracle worker.
Use your powers for good, Snake. Do it.
I want to watch MK crash and burn, as everybody knows. Apparently,
it is a funny situation because I'm like the only one that kind of does better if the content is good. Like if the game's doing well, I'm probably doing better. But y'all would actually thrive in the opposite situation. It's like,
you're
roast this fucking game.
You're dirty shell.
Let's go.
That's why, dog. You dirty shell.
Shoot!
I'm getting tired of that. I'm getting tired of the show claims. Not true. Never been paid.
I don't know how to continue that. But yeah, actually, content-wise, for myself, I'm excited to... Actually, by the time this podcast episode is out, my next episode will be out, but for YouTube memberships currently. Because I've been doing a thing where I release my videos a week earlier, but for my membership, YouTube membership people. Because I really feel like I need to give benefits to people who have been supporting me for a very long time.
That's disgusting, Sonic. That is disgusting. Letting people
and that doesn't mess up your algorithm,
give you money
doesn't
to
mess up the
early
video.
access. Disgusting. You sold out, Sonic. You fell off.
You know,
how
curiously,
dare you pander to your audience?
I'm pretty sure one of us here has like a Patreon or something.
Yeah, dog.
Dog.
I mean, it's vacant, but yeah, I've had it. I don't like advertise it.
He actually does have a Patreon, yes.
I have a channel membership thing all set up too, but I've been like scared to hit the activate button for some dumb reason. I've even met with my YouTube guy a couple of times, my own YouTube agent, and he's like, "Yeah, why is there any reason why you haven't turned it on?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm worried that I can't keep up with all the promises because I have like 3 different tiers, and each tier has like different rewards, you know." And I was like, "I don't know if I can keep up." But
it's true. Managing a Discord can either be very fun or very tiring, depending on how your day of the mood, in a way.
Oh, if it was Discord, I would definitely hire someone to do that. And in fact, you can find people that moderate Discord for free because they just enjoy doing it. Like I have a buddy who said he would do it.
I have
And I was
my
like, oh,
mods.
okay.
I'm sure Snake, your mods are also like you ask them and they just
Yeah.
oh, okay, sure, I'll help you out. I'm an advocate like Snake mod on his like channel. I totally ban
Oh,
people
nice.
for fun.
Like
I think
you're like Eris, like on his streams. Like, hey, get that guy banned.
oh really?
Shut
Is
up,
it?
idiot.
Yeah, I think on the channel it's like they Snake changed my name on specifically on his channel to like SonicHaXD sucks or something like that. Let me see. I'm pretty sure that's still how I'm called here.
It's a funny thing because
Nice.
I sometimes change people's like that because as a joke, like because they're like they're being like argumentative, but not really. It's just a bit of banter. So they'll change their name to something else, and then months later, I'm like, why is it still called that? Why have they not changed it back? Like, can you not do that? Is that a thing where if I change it, you can't change it back?
Yeah, I'm
Please,
still called Sonic.
Please, test it right now. Can you change your nickname on my server? Is it possible?
How do I? Okay, I guess I'll right click myself and see profile.
Do it live, Sonic.
Edit server profile. User profile. It's not. Oh, streamer mode enabled. I have OBS on, so I can't see shit. I guess we'll test it out after we're done recording then. But yeah, I hope you guys are excited for the next episode. I'm already 70% done with like episode 3, and this episode it has got some insane stuff that I'm going through with like because it's the longest chapter currently, right? I would assume NRS's longest chapter like they've ever made. Can I think of one that's
yes,
yeah? Can you think of one that's longer?
No, because it's normally the most they've done before is 5. The closest one to the length of Raiden's chapter is the last chapter of this same game.
Yes,
but that feels shorter because it's mostly just fights.
Yeah, and also there's
story.
like, I believe like after, because in between like when Raiden defeats Kung Lao and then fights Li Mei, it's like 10 minutes, and then after he defeats Reiko and then to Katana, it's another 10 minutes. I remember I was like looking at my recording, be like, damn, that's like 40 minutes just for this chapter.
They had to get all the exposition out there. They had to like establish the new setting and whatnot.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go through all that stuff. Plus, I think like maybe 25% of the video is like just heavily edited with like skits and like funny shenanigans. That I'm like, holy shit, why did I put so much effort into this episode specifically?
I hope you bring up how like they spend all that time explaining how important the living forest is, not just what it signifies, but what it literally is. And then you could have like your little funny robot voice be like, oh geez, if anything happens to this place, I bet everyone's gonna freak out and be really sad. Anyway,
so
because like no one gives a shit when it's destroyed later.
Unfortunately, that's gonna be a joke for episode 7. So that's gonna.
Gotcha.
But yeah, that is a joke I did have planned, and there's actually some funnier details in the stage itself because of that. But well,
wait. 7? So you're saying we have to wait 5 months to see this joke that you just set up? Damn, it better be a good one.
5 months of joke, baby.
Slow.
I'm not waiting. I'm not waiting 5 months for mid Sonic. It'd damn well be a good one.
It better be. I'm not gonna wait for 5 months of a mid joke. It better be good. What's really funny is I have gotten some people be like, "Damn, I have to wait like another month for episode 2," and I get that comment quite a lot too. So I hope it'll be worth the wait for you guys when it comes out.
That reptile chapter damn well be a fucking banger. Because
I hope so too.
This entire project is riding on that one episode. If that episode underperforms, the whole thing's dead.
It's done. We're canceling the project. I don't care about what happens after that.
Has anybody made that meme yet of like I forget the exact format, but I think it's someone like holding a little person, like being like, "All right, buddy, this whole thing's riding on you. You got this, right? Right?" Like the camera zooms in on the person being like sweating because it's like all on them. Somebody better have made that, but with Peacemaker. Like, this is all riding on you.
Oh.
You got this, right, little buddy? And it's like being all scared. Like,
you also know
good luck, John
about,
Cena.
The funny thing about Peacemaker, it's that the new season of MK Onslaught is actually a repeat. They've gone back and done M1K Scorpion again, so he came back in the rotation.
That was the first like chapter. I mean, what did you call that? Yeah, it was the first Chronicle too.
It's the first one that they did, and now they've gone through 6 before, and now they started the rotation here again. But the funny thing about it is, I've seen a leak. So if you don't want to see the leaks, skip to this time code here that Sonic is going to plaster over my face, because the leak suggests that Peacemaker is going to be in the game, or was, but that would have released right around the time Peacemaker did for M1K. Because it would have been rather embarrassing if the mobile game got him first. Because they have done...
that would kind of be true.
Leatherface, Freddy, Jason, Terminator. So it's not unreasonable to expect that, this character at least could show up in this game. So it's just funny to think that Onslaught had a better plan afterwards, because they're like, oh shit, okay, we'll just bring back M1K Scorpion, just bring him back for 2 weeks, even though the current standard is 3 weeks. So I guess 2 weeks brings it in line with not only the original Scorpion release, but also with when Peacemaker will drop for M1K. Whereas M1K's like, oh, this season that's dragged on for 2 months instead of 1, let's drag it on for another 2 weeks. Because someone made the good point that, this one's dragged on for like a quarter of a year. This one season with no new... They did bring in any new skins, and the least they could have done is either said, okay, well, this one's we're gonna bring back season 1 for a month or so.
Would have been
we'll
smart.
do that.
Yeah.
Or,
it does sound kind of smart.
Or at the very least, if you can't do that, take some of the story skins and bring them back. The story skins we've not got yet. Pick one. Like, here's a Kung Lao skin from the story. Here's this Shaolin monk, Shaolin get-up. Just have that.
Yeah. Here's the masquerade costumes they wear in that one festival scene.
My guess as to why they're not doing that is because they're all like planned.
Yeah, but it's one of those where it's like the schedule has slipped, and they've given us nothing to make up for that. And it also ties into something, because Dog in his video when he's talking about the delay originally, and I said in the comments that they shouldn't have tied the new seasons with the characters anyway, because it's not like Quan Chi showed up in season 3, so they had to wait until Quan Chi was ready so they could launch them together.
That's a good point.
Instead, what they did was they just launched him alongside season 3, which he's not featured in at all. At least with the guests it makes sense. With the actual MK characters, there's no reason to do it that way. So why have they done it where it's like roughly every month we get a new season and a new character, when you could go, here's a new season, 2 weeks later, new character, 2 weeks later, new season that features that character? Like, why do they put it all together? It's just a bad idea. They should have split it up so we're getting more instead of just getting these big drops. It's smaller drops every so often.
I just thought it was funny thing. I was thinking, because maybe they want to hype up the invasions mode. That's why you get to play the new character and use him in invasions mode. Because a lot of people, when I saw when Omni-Man came out, they played Omni-Man in the newest invasions mode. That's
true.
Yeah.
That is one reason, I guess. I think also they may be doing the sneak peek like they did with Chameleon. Weren't you able to use Chameleon kind of early, or not early but without paying for Chameleon? You could use Chameleon. No, it was intentional. They had a little pop-up saying you can use Chameleon in invasions in this one tower or something.
Really?
To see if you want to. Yeah. So they may have been wanting to do that with Peacemaker, but it's still dumb. You don't have to do it all at once, but they're definitely doing a go big or go home. Everything's dropping with Peacemaker. Not just invasions, but also crossplay is very likely coming with him too. I think it's even proven already. And it's funny, Snake, you brought up the update for Onslaught, because I've known about that for a while, because I have a guy who covers all the Onslaught stuff, and he's like, hey, just so you know, when the new update gets here, we already know there's going to be Peacemaker stuff in there. Maybe not gameplay, but some animations, some character models maybe, and we can show you those. You can put those in your video for fun. It could tease some MK1 stuff, and then it didn't happen. So oh, never mind, got pushed back, no updates, so we can't share all that stuff with you. And then I think he even told me recently, he's like, oh, also, I finally got a cease and desist from NetherRealm. They're telling me to stop leaking stuff. It's oh dang, they got him, they got our boy.
Gotta be anonymous for that, to be honest. Yeah, I saw your video on the Peacemaker moves in the mobile game, and that's kind of how I knew he was going to be in the mobile game too. And also those moves probably are from M1K.
Yep.
I got a question. So you're saying M1K Scorpion is back, literally the same chapter, or is it the same character but a different story?
Same story.
Oh, okay. So it's just just rotated again, basically. Okay, gotcha.
Because it does change. First it was every 2 weeks, but then they shifted it to 3 weeks, I assume, so that the developers would have more time to work on story stuff. Plus, when the season started, it was they hadn't had a new story content after that until they did the Sonya one, and so the 3 weeks thing coincided with that. So I assume it was a case of we need time to work on the Sonya stuff as well as these Chronicles. So like, I'll put it to 3 weeks, which is like, seems like the one time they've been allowed to anyone working on MK this generation has been allowed to just take things at your own pace. We can stretch things out a little bit. It's okay, as opposed to announce the character will drop on this date. Oh, you can't get it. Oh, fuck. Delay 2 weeks. Fuck.
Yeah, actually, the Peacemaker situation is really weird because if Peacemaker is coming out next week, we're still not getting a trailer. We got an Omni-Man like snippet 40-second trailer before the actual gameplay trailer came out. They were hyping him up. Nothing for Peacemaker?
Yeah.
I wonder if I really wonder if there is something going on behind the scenes that's like screwing them over and stuff.
I mean, there's even that joke that Ed Boon's not even talking right now. Like Ed Boon's not even like tweeting or nothing. And our boy Dynasty, our #1 fan, even he was like, Ed Boon, give us a sign if you're being held captive. Give us a sign if they have you locked up.
I saw some tweets of people being like, is he okay? Is he still like alive? Can we check on him? People would be like, okay, he hasn't posted since January, but like he's still liking tweets, so he's fine.
He's still liking tweets. Okay, good. As long as he's still liking tweets and stuff. Okay. Because I was checking for even like replies, and he wasn't replying to anybody either, but likes. Gotcha. Good.
Yeah. I really. Maybe I'm going into theory territory here, but like I really wonder if this shift in, cause like I would say last year they were more communicative, but then like this year they decided to be less using like Twitter specifically. I heard people say it's because it's like they're standing up against like Elon Musk, but like another part of me also thinks is maybe
anybody with a company, don't do that. Do not take a stand against something at the detriment of your own customers. That is so stupid, and it's a lose for everybody.
I highly doubt that that's the case, because if that was what it was, then sure they would just find a different place to do this. It would have like,
apparently on Facebook blog. They're doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah, Facebook or developer blog, or
on Instagram, right? Because they're still very active over there.
Yeah,
that's what I hear.
Stuff. There's so many other places they could do it. If they're not doing it on Twitter, it's got nothing to do with Twitter. They're just not. I've heard suggestions that it could be like a Warner Bros. Thing, that they're telling them not to talk about stuff, which makes
That's
the
what
most
I'm thinking too.
It makes the most sense, even if it's completely irrational. But then again, this is current year Warner Bros. So irrational is the name of the game. So
there is something going on with it for sure, because one guy, I think his name is Kenny Baum, he covers some MK stuff too. He mentioned how he thinks that Mortal Kombat Twitter is shadow banned. What? Are you silencing me?
Just refocusing on the camera.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going like, shush. But if you were to type in Mortal Kombat 1 on Twitter, like you can't find it. You have to go to Google and type in like Twitter Mortal Kombat 1, and then you get a link. So it somehow is like disconnected from the regular search, which is weird. So maybe at one point they were trying to like get rid of or not like use Twitter and kind of protest, but that's so dumb. Like, I can't imagine a dumber. Yeah, let's go to the #1 platform that everyone uses to like get their information on and not use it. Because take that, Elon, still second richest man in the world. You take that. Like, it's not going to do anything. You're just hurting your customers and your own product. But
yeah. So
anyway.
we don't know. That's why I just said it's like it's a theory.
Yeah. But that's me saying the supporting theory of it is that you can't even find Mortal Kombat 1 on Twitter unless you like Google it. You can't type them into the search bar and find them.
Yeah.
But which is weird. I don't get how that works. There was something else I was going to say tangentially related to this, but I forgot.
Well,
Snake pointing at the camera and shushing me.
You discouraged Dog so much he forgot what he was going to say anymore. You should shush with your like cool metal arm. Shh. Use that like the fingernail, and that would look very cool.
The middle finger of power.
Well, it's a middle finger too. Yeah, I just realized that. Yes, pulling the mustache. Yeah, because like the last time we did the podcast, we slightly talked a bit about the M1K is dying, and everyone is like talking about it kind of thing. So it's still like a interesting topic that keeps being brought up, and still a lot of people have it like I still almost see it like weekly basis. Just see like Mortal Kombat 1 is dying. 10,000 views. Videos like popping up on YouTube all the time. Like all these different channels are like.
Mortal Kombat 1 is Mortal Kombat
working.
1 is dying so hard that the topic about it dying is also dying.
Damn. Should we keep
What's
talking
funny,
about it?
In my thumbnails, I've been doing like the tombstone.
Yeah, I noticed that. You did it twice. I saw that.
Yeah. Well, I had to make the new one look different. Well, originally the new one was gonna have a zombie hand coming up from the ground, saying that it's like coming back from the dead. But when I have my friends that I run my thumbnail, drafts by, and they all said it looked better to not have the zombie hand in front of it. And I was like, well, but then it looks too similar to a previous thumbnail. And one of the biggest mistakes you can make as a YouTuber is making two thumbnails that are too alike, because people will see it and think, oh, I've watched that one. Even if it says like that the video is new, they'll be like, oh, I've seen that one. So I was like, it's gotta look different. So I added like lightning to it and stuff, and like some blood smears. And I thought, wait, what if I like, as a running joke, like as we get closer to Peacemaker, I have like the tombstone cracking or like breaking free, like it's about like it's coming back to life or something,
A story in parts.
Oh, you get a screenshot from a WWE game of John Cena being hit with a tombstone pile driver.
That'd be cool, but it's too meta.
Yeah.
I can't make those kind of thumbnails. Only Sajam can make really funny meta thumbnails like that. And also Brian F is pretty good at that too, making those meme thumbnails.
I guess that's our weekly M1K is dying topic. Is that gonna be a recurring thing? Oh, look at that!
Snake, you're such a nerd. You're embarrassing me in front of the hoes.
I'm doing the Shang Tsung thing.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Cool,
his pose. That's cool. He's blending between Shang and Wolverine now.
And the best there is of what I do, and what I do is very cringe.
There you go.
I love that. Quote.
You know what's funny? I just had a random thought, and I had a random thought. So, finally, in this new Mortal Kombat game, Shang Tsung can actually transform without having to do like an up close attack that hits the opponent. He can just turn into the opponent at like any time during gameplay, like a flat transformation. And yet we don't see it very often, do we? So I guess that just proves that people don't really enjoy that mechanic as much as we thought they would.
I guess. I mean, yeah, but it's more like.
Yeah.
Well, if you compare it to previous games, you get like a benefit from like transforming to other characters, right? In this game, it's like, well, what's the benefit if I transform into you? It's the same issue.
I guess you just become them and that's it. You don't get like a damage buff, huh? I think you do if it's the enhanced version, maybe, but I can't remember.
Not too sure.
Shows what I know as a Mortal Kombat guy. I totally forgot. I just found it cool that you can just transform in the neutral pretty quickly into the opponent, and you're suddenly like, I'm Reptile now.
I like. I think Honeybee made a video, or there's videos of people being like challenges of being like the hardest challenge ever, playing Shang Tsung and using Shujinko and just turning into your opponent like every time, and that's the challenge. You gotta play the game like that, basically.
That'd be pretty epic.
What's that wood guy called? Mokujin from Tekken?
Mokujin.
Like Mokujin. Yeah.
Who's for some reason, there's no character like him in Tekken 8. I was kind of surprised because there's multiple characters throughout the series that have played that role of like changing into the opponent's moveset. It was either Mokujin or it was like Kombat, and we don't have either one.
Was Tekken 7 didn't have it either, right?
No.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
I think they should just put it in as like a funny character. I would imagine it wouldn't be too difficult since it's just copying the moveset. Well.
Yeah. I guess they thought that it was, I don't know, like it's funny because it really is not hard to do because all the animations are already baked into the rig anyway. So it's not hard to like just copy and paste the frames onto like a character.
And Mokujin actually has been kind of like teased around as like cosmetics. You can have him as the avatar. You can literally have Mokujin like flying next to you in the game. He's in one of the arcade endings and stuff. So it's like I would love to see Mokujin back. He's a fun little guy.
What I liked about Mokujin is that they had to give him little knockoff versions of certain weapons if the character used weapons in their gameplay. So if you were Yoshimitsu, you had like a little wooden sword. But if you were Devil Jin, he had those little like Renaissance style wings, like Assassin's Creed style, with like the little wood and like a paper in between, you know.
And he had a
pretty
tail.
dope.
He had a tail if you were Roger Jr. or Alex.
Oh, that's cool.
That little tail. So I always found that cute.
So a bit of another update I could mention. So I beat Mario Wonder 100%. Not just like
Oh my god, no one fucking cares. Oh my god, I'm just kidding.
I'll fast forward this. Jeez.
It is cool. No, it is cool. I think it's cute that you 100% it. I got super excited when I 100% at Spyro, the reignited trilogy.
I'm trying to drown out Dog's bullshit by shooting him.
Wait, so you didn't play through Spyro? You did 100% that?
No, I did. So I understand your excitement because it's like I did it. I 100% did. Yeah.
The funny thing is, it's like I got all like the special. They're called like Wonder Seeds to unlock. It's called the final test in the special world, and it's like, wow, I use all my abilities and get through this final test. That was fun. I 100% in this game. Why do I feel like I'm not done yet? I look online. Oh, apparently you gotta get like everything in the game to unlock the final test of the stage. So I had to do that again, and then I got to that, and that is literally the hardest stage in the entire game. It takes like about like an hour or more to like beat it because of how difficult that course is. But it's really fun just to like try to get through that. So I have now 100% of like Wonder, which is very fun, and now I am now onto my next project.
It's very small for me. I can't see what.
Focus.
Oh.
Focus.
It's that Smash Bros character. Dude, I can't believe they gave him his own game.
Yeah, after how many years? But yeah, this was a game. This was a game.
They named it after the process of when they were choosing what ARMS character to go into Smash. They were saying, oh, we've already got Springman as a costume or whatever. And someone was like, okay, we'll just pick Min.
That was a pretty clever, fast joke. You got a B+ for that. But so this is a game. The only reason I decided to pick it up is because word of mouth of this game is too good. It's like I have not heard anything but compliments about Pikmin 4. I think there are 3 YouTubers I like that made best of 2023 video games. They all put it at number 1, and I'm like, how good can it be? And like, the funny thing is, almost everyone describing it, it never seems that appealing, or it doesn't seem like they're really describing what you're doing in the game. And then I finally picked it up, I think like 2 days ago, and I've already put like 20 hours in it. I can't stop. It's so addicting.
It reminds me of Death Stranding, because everyone looks at the gameplay and is like, "There's no way that could be fun." But then you start playing it and you're like, oh my god, I'm already 20 hours in. I just keep building stuff and getting resources to build shortcuts and more paths and stuff. And I'm just having fun, like, kind of making your own little playground, but just for traveling places faster. And you're like, hey, look at all this cool stuff that I made.
That's cool. Yeah. So it's like Pikmin, it's like, oh yeah, now I can send my Pikmins to collect that thing and kill that creature and then call them back, explore this area. And it's like, it's kind of like playing like a Civilization type kind of game. But then there's like the challenge parts of the game where you have to like beat a boss or do like in this small area collect things as fast as possible, or like go up against an opponent who is an AI. I think you can go like co-op with someone online, but the point is you got to have like a collect-a-thon challenge against the other player, and also survival where it's like you have to like protect your camp against the monsters and collect things to like build it up. I'm like, it's fun. Like, holy crap, I can't stop playing it. It's really fun actually. But I'll talk more about it whenever I beat it. But I could see why people are like saying it's a great game. It's hard to explain. It is one of those things where just like you gotta play it to understand that kind of shenanigan. But yeah, that's my gaming update. What's up with you, dog? How you been doing?
Unfortunately, there's not too much to talk about in regards to my personal life. I was doing tax stuff. I opened up some new interest funds and mutual funds. The comic is coming back from the printer soon. Just the sample though, because before I mass printed everything, I had to make sure it actually works the first time, right? So I'm getting a sample first to look through it, make sure none of the pages are messed up, and then I'll finally start mass printing it. And once that's done, I got to start signing it. And the good news is, if any,
no, I said you have 10 days before you meet the deadline, dog.
Yeah. Well, I have
a
safety measure for that. Like I was gonna say until you interrupted me. So,
I'm so
if
sorry.
If I can't get them sent out in time, which I probably can't, I'm still going to make sure to email every single backer a digital copy of the comic. so you can still read it, and that's definitely dropping in February. You're still getting the book. It's not going to be tangible yet, which I apologize for. But the cool thing about digital is you can zoom in and look at all the details. In fact, sometimes when I buy a comic, I make sure to get a digital version too, because like comic books, like I have one right here. They're not that big. So like some of the detail is just like lost on the pages, right? Like look at all this detail, right? On this one page. And it's kind of like hard to see all of it. But in the digital version, you can zoom in and get as close as you want and enjoy like all the detail and stuff. It's kind of cool. I like that. Manga also is a great example of that. If you read manga, those books are pretty small, those manga books, some of them. But on a computer screen, you can like blow it up really big and you're like, oh, there actually is tons of detail there. It's just hard to see because the manga's so damn small.
But I don't know a single person that, like, any one of my friends who has actually picked up a book in a very long time, because they always read manga through the computer or like on their phones. The only reason they will buy a manga is because they love the manga and the author so much that they just have it for collection reasonings. That's it. They don't read it. They just put it there. Like I support Chainsaw Man. That's why I have this whole series and stuff.
I wonder who's keeping that alive then. Because there's got to be people who buy them, because if you go to the bookstores, like they're filled with manga, so people are definitely buying them, or they wouldn't be constantly restocking the shelves. You know. But
I don't know about the U.S., but at least in my country, there's a lot of places that are very, very popular to just like go there and sit in the air conditioning, and just there's like stacks and stacks and stacks of manga books that you can just pick up and go to the table and just sit on the sofa and read. For free.
Oh, and you pay for a membership instead? Like you pay to like go in there or something?
No, you don't even need to pay that. You can just go in and do that for free. You
How
can
do they
buy
make money?
like
I guess like drinks or some like coffee or something. Like you buy a drink.
You can buy drinks.
Okay.
You can rent DVDs there and stuff. But the point is, you can just walk up, read the book for free, and sit on a couch. And I see like tons of people there that do that and stuff. It's quite a nice culture thing that we have here.
It's really cool. Yeah, y'all have maybe not where you live, but I know in Japan they also have those hotels that are also manga themed sometimes. So, like the whole like in the hotel rooms they have like the whole shelf of manga, and you can like get it and like read it. I will say, could you imagine if in the future the way those places make money is like you walk in the door, they go, okay, sir, thank you so much for coming. Before you come in, you got to watch this 30-second ad. It's how we get paid. And you're just like forced to watch it. And it's like, no.
Damn, that'd be a little too dystopian. I think
it's gonna
Snake
be the
got a
future,
stroke,
man.
and he just fell down.
No,
Rip
just
Snake.
just pick up another really cool thing to show you guys.
I think I've even like told you guys how it's already been proven that Apple is working with social media companies to make it to where if you stop looking at the iPhone, because it already has face scan technology, that was actually not for a security reason at all. That was just their beta testing to make sure it could even do that correctly. Soon they're going to make it to where the ad stops playing if you're not looking at the screen.
Oh, that is very dystopian.
They're going to implement that at some point. So just look forward to that, everybody. You're not going to be able to watch or skip any ad. You're going to be forced to like watch it, and it's going to pause if you look away.
I think that would be a giant outrage once that happens.
That's just going to make ad blocker more popular. Let's be real. It's just going to be way more ad blockers. And you know we're true dystopian if the ad blockers somehow become illegal. Like the government, like somehow passes a law, like, okay, everyone, it's been mandated now that ad blockers are illegal and unethical and unconstitutional. So henceforth and so forth, you know, past this point.
There was that rumor, but it wasn't like true. But there was that like thing where people are saying like, if you have ad block on YouTube, YouTube will literally slow down like your video and stuff. I remember that was a big thing like a couple months ago. So
my brother-in-law believes in that. Is that true or not? I don't know because I don't use ad blocker.
I don't think it's true because it was like like for some people it worked on like the ad block people use, but then people use other ad blocks and it's completely like fine. So but then it's like also it is literally YouTube back then was slow for like many people too. What the heck happened to Snake's like lights and stuff?
I'm gonna probably invest in actually getting a ad blocker because on my phone and other laptop I'm logged into my account, so I don't need one. I'm a YouTube like premium guy or whatever. On this one is purposely like I'm doing like what Mutahar and other people say to do. That's really cool, Snake. He's got the glowing mask.
Yeah, he's got to go for like a performance.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like a mask. I thought it was like covering eyes mask, but it's like covering mouth mask.
It's the classic Scorpion mask. It's like the MK 2 or 3. Yeah. Or MK11 even, because they brought it back.
True.
My
That's
hellfire
really
can
cool.
burn even you.
You need like a OST like playing on your phone, make it like really hype.
Oh, he's bringing it all back on now. I was making it all like yellow and orange, like Hellfire, I guess. He's like, no, it's not working. Okay, there we go.
Well, no, he wanted to like show it in the dark, so, like how it glows.
Yeah.
Like the last time I showed you guys like my giant moon, like that kind of like effect. Oh, nice, yeah, Hellfire. Look at that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. He's trying to get it to all be the same color behind him. Yeah.
That's very cool.
Very cool. Oh, he's got a skull on too. Look at that.
Yeah, we can see the skull now. We didn't see the skull.
Oh, it's
just
creepy. I don't like that. I don't like it. It scares me. No, get away.
Oh my gosh. With the little nails too. I just remembered something that could spark a conversation. At least I really want to talk about with you guys. I've been watching a couple of movies recently because I just in the mood. So I got like recently Poor Things came out, so that I checked that out. I watched Oppenheimer because that's a big movie that came out last year. Oppenheimer, Poppy.
Yep.
Both movies are goated as fuck, by the way. Like they're really good. But then I also watched like the best movie of 2024 that just came out about a week ago, actually. By this point, can you guys guess what it was?
What is it?
Is it a Marvel movie?
Oh, Madam
They say
Web.
it's a Marvel movie. They say it's a Marvel movie.
Dude, that is such a... We've never had a better example of
That's such a cute mess.
the consequences of making a movie that nobody wanted and nobody asked for. This is like the epitome of that. Like, just
That's why
like,
it's so
literally
hype.
nothing.
That's
Yeah.
why it's like everyone sees from the distance that this car crash is gonna happen. Get your popcorn ready.
What is funny though, this movie flopping has actually upset the higher ups more than like we've seen, because they're already in a bad spot, and then this film like didn't just flop, it like historically flopped, like a remarkably low amount of money. And
Yeah, I think like what was that? Like a documentary came out around that time, and that made more money in theaters and stuff.
so these big executives are actually getting really mad right now. Like they're finally like, and they're getting mad at the customers, and like it's getting leaked. It's pretty funny. Like they're blaming us for not watching their bad movie that nobody wanted.
It's like, bros, we made
It's
this
actu-
movie that no one wanted. Why do you not want this movie that you didn't want?
I'm
I
really
genuinely-
glad
I
that I
wonder
didn't watch
why.
it, because I've
Execs.
learned from reviews that the parts that we see in the trailer of the Spider Women, that's pretty much all you get. That's
Yeah,
like
because
the
they're
only,
just visions of the future.
that's all you get in the movie too.
Sequel bait.
How much do you guys care about spoilers? Because like
Well, I've already
that-
watched the spoilers.
I
This is a
know
Tekken
how the bad guy
one,
is
I thought.
defeated, and it's fucking funny.
Oh yeah, that made me laugh too. No, but what made me laugh was like the line that like the main character says, "The one that you were afraid of killing you, the girls that were killing you, they're not the ones you need to be afraid of." Camera closes up. It's me. And then he falls off. It's like they defeat the bad guy in a way that's like I'm watching Final Destination in a way. It's just like
Yeah.
okay.
He falls off a
And
thing,
it's funny
and
too,
then
because
a
I was already
Pepsi,
laughing at like how
Pepsi
they hit him
sign
with the
kills
car
him.
apparently. Go ahead, Snake. Sorry.
a Pepsi sign falls on him and crushes him to death. And this man has spider powers, and he's crushed to death by a Pepsi sign. This is like
Yep.
when
Yeah.
Titans killed off Donna Troy, who has like Wonder Woman powers, by electrocuting her. This is terrible.
Yeah.
And then people were like, yo, no, I just don't want to watch our terrible movie. That was terrible, because it was terrible, and everyone knew it was going to be terrible. No one wanted a Madam Web film. What, are you high? Just make
love-
Spider-Man 4. Just give Sam
love
Raimi
the
a
way-
bajillion dollars and let him make a real Spider-Man movie. This is not
They
difficult,
could have
Sony.
actually. This could have worked though. That's the funny part. This movie could have worked if they just stopped pretending what consumers want and just actually accept what they do want. They could have made it the Madam Web movie with the same characters, but it's like Charlie's Angels theme, like the classic Charlie's Angels. Like
Oh, maybe.
just badass women going on cool missions,
I mean,
putting
that's
on
clearly what they were
sexy
going for.
spider outfits, and fighting bad guys and making cheesy jokes. That would have been awesome. People would have loved
This-
it. But no, it had to be some
okay.
stupid, boring mystery movie with an off-brand looking Spider-Man villain who they can't even put a spider logo on because that's too close. Like, you can't
But you
think
can still
that he's
make him
actually
wear like
Spider-Man.
a black Spider-Man suit to get the Spider-Man fans into it. Even though this movie is like 99% like, what does it have to do with like Spider-Man at all? Other than like, oh, I think that's Uncle Ben. The kid is like Peter Parker and stuff.
But they can't say it. But they can't say it.
So like, I think a lot of people aren't really appreciating the memes and like the abominableness of this movie. Like they did that with Morbius. They're like, oh, Morbius is horrible, but the memes are great. This movie, people are just saying, oh, it's just boring. It's not fun. I had a blast because holy shit, the acting is horrible. It is genuinely hilarious what's coming out of their mouths sometimes. I think like one of my like favorite parts, like I had to like almost laugh out loud watching, was like when it's like, oh, the spider person was coming to kill the 3 girls, so Cassie Webb has to go save them. Okay, come on, you 3, come out of the train, let's go. Someone's killing it, but that's how I'm gonna act now. Come on, let's go. And it's like, what's going on? Why are you taking us out here? What's the emergency? That's the emergency. Yep. Camera pans to the ceiling of a spider person crawling, and then Cassie says, that man's trying to kill you. And the 3 girls would look back at her and say, the hell? I don't know. Let's go. Literally lines that they say in the movie. I was like, you can't be that man's trying to kill you. I don't know. Let's go. Like because she's like, I don't get my powers. What I don't know. What are you talking about? But we gotta go now. It's emergency. It is so funny. Like how bad it is. I like burst out laughing in many parts of it because.
There's a couple of theories why the acting is so bad. The first is like that they just realized how unhyped the film was to everybody and how dumb it was. Like the actors themselves became self-aware of how stupid the film was and kind of gave up. Another theory is they just did a bunch of rewrites and reshoots, and the actors are just kind of done with it. They were like, I don't even know which shots we're using, which ones we're not.
Apparently, some of the ADR is really shoddy and very obvious.
Oh yeah,
the villain,
especially for like the villain.
He's clearly recorded this at a different time, and that's why they don't show his face.
Oh yeah,
the villain
and
apparently
also because
gets a pass
the villain
because
is wearing
that
the
actor,
spider suit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it could have been someone else. You're right.
So it's like every time he's in action scenes, you hear him like, "I'm gonna kill you today, and you're not gonna get away from me now." And it's like, but he has no like panting sounds and stuff because he's got the mask, so he can just ADR all that.
He's doing like Power Rangers style like dub and like movement.
Yeah.
That actor gets a pass apparently because I watched one guy review it, and even though he's a very like cynical, Fort Snake level of reviewer who tears films to pieces, he was like, this guy gets a pass because he's not very experienced with English, which is why he shouldn't have had many speaking lines at all. But they still made him do it, and that's why he comes off like.
I know that Ezekiel, the actor who plays him, like specifically has done like good movies in the past. That's the thing I heard someone else say. If everyone in the movie is acting bad, that's not the problem of the actor, it's the problem of the director. So when everyone is bad.
So let me ask you this, Dog. So do you agree with that sentiment that because he's not that experienced with English and he's not done much acting in English that he gets a pass?
No idea on it. I mean, it seems more valid than everybody else who's just born and raised with the language, so they should.
Because you gave Dimitri Vegas shit in your video about the celebrity actors, and he's like he doesn't speak English natively. Oh, how is this different? Why are you defending Madam Web but not Mortal Kombat? I can't believe you are a Mortal Kombat hater.
I'm pretty sure I just said that his voice acting was 10 times worse. I didn't say that it was his fault. I just said it was bad, which it is.
You implied it.
I didn't. I said that NetherRealm made a worse mistake because they hired a guy that was not famous, like not to most people, and also could not voice act. So at least with Rhonda, she was famous, but like. None of my friends knew who Dimitri Vegas was. Like, not a single one of us.
He did the remix for the MK theme for the launch trailer. You put respect on his name, you fucker.
But it sounds like almost identical to the original, just like a little bit different.
But, it's a remix. He didn't make a whole new rendition like they did for 2021. It's just a remix.
So why does making a remix, like, merit all that?
Well,
I'd rather give a costume to like the guy who has to do all the actual grunt work for the game, like maybe one of the sound effects guys is doing all that work. That guy deserves to be in the game.
The way I heard it was
Dimitri Vegas. He probably made that remix in like a week.
I heard that Dimitri Vegas joked that he wanted to be a Sub-Zero skin as his payment for the job he did, and supposedly NetherRealm went ahead. But it's also funny because I actually don't know. Did he come back for like past when Rhonda did to do more new voice lines, or because I believe there are some intros where it just has Sub-Zero's voice with that skin.
Oh really? I didn't know that.
I think there are a few.
It's like looking in a mirror. We will see who is the last standing.
I do think like his voice is bad in that, but like at the same time, it's like, oh, it's a cute skin. It's like this celebrity skin. Do you have to pay
I like
for
the
that?
Tron skin that he's like neon.
I think it was for free.
Oh, there you go then.
I think it was. I mentioned that in my original draft of the video, but I didn't feel like fact checking it, so I just cut that part out of my video entirely.
Yeah, actually, one thing I thought that you didn't really go into for the voices, you didn't really talk about the returning 95 cast, the Raiden, Sonya, and like John. You
I briefly touched on it. I said that because I said Shang Tsung did so well, it like inspired like the whole pack of like bringing all the actors back. I did mention that
but
briefly.
I mean, you did
very
individually
briefly.
like kind of review those voices.
Yeah, well, I didn't feel like making I post daily, so I didn't want to make like it was already a more intensive video than you would think to actually edit and stuff, so I was like, I don't want to do like one for each of them. Because if I did, I would definitely, it could be a separate video, because the actor for Johnny Cage really nailed it. Like everyone agrees that the Johnny Cage 95 actor like really nailed it. It was clearly having a great time recording his lines. The Sonya actress was hit or miss, and then shockingly, Christopher Lambert, because he was trying to still be the MK11 Raiden just with his voice, like kind of wasn't what I wanted. I wanted him to keep his tone from like the movie where he'd be kind of joking, but they didn't let him have that.
And also he was trying to go with I guess he was trying to mimic his voice back in the 95 movie, but it doesn't translate 100% that well, depending on the lines and stuff.
Part of me was worried that he had like a throat issue, like maybe he had something that caused his voice to fuck up, but I'm not sure.
The sad part is, personality-wise, he might work quite well for the new Raiden.
Yeah, he would.
And it's like the new Raiden from the game or from the movie?
The game, obviously. Because the younger Raiden is more jokey and quippy compared to the original, so that's more in line with the 95 version. So the script for this is more suitable for him. The problem is, if they did that, how much would they charge for it?
Also, he's like 70 now,
Yeah.
So,
Yo, he can be president. He's old enough to be president now in the U.S. He's 70. That's like the new rule. You got to be like ancient to be the president now.
I see your joke. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like so many of those lines though in MK11, he could have delivered with like a comedic or just like lighthearted tone, and it wouldn't have messed it up very much. But they just didn't feel like doing the extra. Like that would have required making one extra guy on the team, just like read through all the lines and be like, oh, this one could be read in like a lighthearted tone. This one could be like the Johnny Cage one, for example, where Raiden responds and goes, "Do not presume, Johnny Cage." I could see Lambert doing that, like, "Do not presume, Johnny Cage," and it would like fit perfectly. Like it's just like a lighthearted way of saying it, but.
If Kari Tagawa ran for president, would you vote for him?
Yeah.
That's a really. Okay.
No. He's not gonna win.
In
I
the
vote
U.S.
for people who can win.
Kari Tagawa running in the U.S.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
Well, he's Asian.
There are Asian Americans, right? They exist.
Yes. Have they ran for president?
Oh, I see your point.
I mean,
Sonic's not saying it's illegal. He's just saying what are the odds, but
they probably don't have the money for that. I'm sure it's just the white ones and the occasional non-white who have enough money to vote. To run.
Well, that one guy, man, that becoming the vice president, which is crazy because that one guy was running for. Everyone liked this guy, but they knew he couldn't win. I forget his name. It's a complicated. I think it's Vivek, but I could be wrong. He's cool though. I've watched his speeches and he's really good. Very well-spoken man. He had no chance of winning the presidency, and when he had to finally dip out because he didn't win the vote for the position, he was like, okay, then I'll humbly drop out and I'll endorse this person. And it's been very implied that if this one presidential candidate wins, he's probably going to make that guy his VP, like the vice president. So that'd be crazy if that guy became vice president. That'd be epic. This is not a Tekken video at all. We've screwed the pooch.
No, don't worry about it. We always have like a bit of an intro chat, and then we'll get into the main topic. This is like the title and whatnot. I just really wanted to talk about Madam Web. I feel like I can go on for even longer, but I'll rest my case.
I do want to mention the tribal people because that was what made me laugh the most.
That was so funny.
Well, I'm not entirely against the idea of like this secret tribe of people that have spider powers, but the costume they chose is like so complicated. Yeah, it's like why not just give them like basic clothing, but it's like red.
Okay, wait.
Anyway.
I gotta give a bit of exposition for Snake. So,
Yeah.
Cassie Webb's mom, who was researching spiders in the Amazon right before she died, like right before, like after she gets shot and killed, out of nowhere, like these people who are wearing, like, at first glance you think they're Spider-Man people, but it's like they're wearing like a red suit, and it's like they're wearing like fishnet like all over their body, like predator style, like all over their body. So it's kind of like tribal Spider-Man, and it's like they carry Cassie and jumping around on the trees with horrible CGI, and not Cassie, the mom, and then put her into like a sacred water to like save the baby, but they can't save the mom, and that's why Cassie has spider powers, and that's in the first 5 minutes of the movie. But that's what Dog was talking about. Like, I'm telling you, this movie is gold.
They have to explain that somehow Cassie doesn't know about any of this because they didn't raise her. Somehow these untouched tribal people that have never been seen by anybody before had enough knowledge of the outside world to get her to like an embassy and get her taken back to the U.S. And that's why she doesn't know that she's never been over there and all that
This
nonsense.
feels like something that could have been fixed in literally the second draft. Like, clearly they didn't do more than one draft. All you do is say Ezekiel raised her. Like, he felt bad and took her in and raised her, and then that's one of the reasons why he wears the suit, so she doesn't know it's him.
That would have been way more epic and interesting.
Yeah,
See, now you're thinking like Morbius. Where the villain and the hero actually have a connection of some kind. Now you're thinking like an actual writer.
The funny thing about the Morbius connection is that Morbius was so hilariously dumb and bad, and people memed on it. So then Sony were like, "Oh, we're going to put it back in cinema so people can watch it," and it bombed twice. Even if that hadn't happened yet, so they had, they have a clear example to learn from and say we're not doing that again. There aren't enough people who give a shit about Madam Web to talk about it and meme on it, because no one gives a fuck. The only people who care about Madam Web at all are literally people who grew up on the 90s Spider-Man cartoon. No one else on this earth cares about Madam Web. Nobody.
Absolutely.
And even I don't care because it's not Madam Web. Like, I like Madam Web from the show, but that's not who that is. So even I don't care.
I think, again, it's like the prospects of his young Madam Web. I'm like, why though? Like, why not get like a really cool, like, older actress, like a Helen Mirren type, and see if you can get her to play her as a supporting character in a separate film, or have her be here just mentoring these, like Dog said, Charlie's Angels type thing, where like, let's get in some younger Spider Women.
And she's Charlie. Yeah, she's in the chair like, all right, Angels, time to go on a badass mission.
So, again, kind of spoiled for Madam Web, but the whole premise is Ezekiel sees, like, 10 years in the future, he gets killed by, like, the 3 teenagers who grow up and all become, like, Spider Girls and stuff like that. So, technically speaking, this Charlie's Angel Spider Girl with Madam Web, like being the one, like, in behind the scenes and stuff like that, could happen in the 10 years later, like, future, like, as they're in their visions and stuff like that, which would have been a more fun movie,
only if Sony
honestly.
is mad enough to do that, to give a sequel to a film that flopped this tremendously. We're talking, this movie flopped so bad it makes Treasure Planet look like a big success.
Keep in mind, the shots in the trailer they use of the Spider Women, it's from visions of the future, i.e. visions of the sequel. They were sequel baited in the trailer for the first one.
This is worse than, like, the Rhino from The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
So you see,
at least there's only one scene. They have, like, show so many scenes for that in the trailer.
At least when there was sequel based in Amazing Spider-Man 2's trailer, like showing, oh, here's the Oscorp lab where all the stuff is being made. At least that was a sequel to a movie that people kind of liked. This is just a movie no one gives a fuck about, untested as a branch of this IP, and they're just like, yeah, we're gonna sequel bait in the trailer. You are either they are fucking demented, or they realize this film has nowhere near enough good material for the trailer, so they're like, oh fuck, let's just lie.
Yeah. You know what's funny too is that so a lot of the actresses in this movie are very attractive ladies, but someone on the writing team was dumb enough to have the idea of, like, de-aging them in the movie. Like, they dress like they're teenagers, right? Like high schoolers or whatever, or like college students.
They're
and
supposedly
like, why did you do
teenagers.
Why did you do that? There was no point. Like, you could have just had them be... There is nothing in the plot that requires them to be, like, that young. They could have just been their age, because they can still be hunted. Like at that age, there's no reason not to do it.
Well, the
It's more
reason
innocent
is
to hunt young children, dog. Ezekiel's killing children.
the reason for it is the fact that they want Madam Web to be a mentor figure. But if they're all the same age as her, that doesn't really work. It's the same kind of issue that you get to some degree.
They look literally like the same age as Madam Web too. That's really funny.
You get that issue to some degree with the PlayStation Spider-Man, where Peter's not... The age gap between Peter and Miles isn't big enough that Peter really feels like a proper mentor. But here it's like, this is the entire premise of it, is Madam Web is mentoring these girls, and they're all like the same age as her. So you either age her up...
the actors,
Age her up, or you age them down. And they chose to age them down, which should be surprising, but it's not, because it's Sony. And everyone knows that Sony's run by cretinous buffoons.
But she didn't even have to be a mentor figure. She can see the future. That's her role in the story. Like, she can see what's going to happen. That's all she needs to play as, like, the role. It's like, oh, I can keep you safe. That's all. And she's like, I know that she's a emergency response person. Like, she's an EMS lady. So, like, it's in her, like... her motivation to save people anyway. Like, that part is coherent and makes sense. So, like, there's no reason to make her a mentor on top of that. That is completely unnecessary. She could just be like, I can see the future. That's my role on this team. You guys have powers. I can see the future. That's the team up we play.
This is one of those movies I will burst out laughing for no reason. You just reminded me. Those little girls are supposed to have powers.
Yeah.
They don't use it, and they don't have it in the movie because they haven't grown up into it yet. So I forgot about that aspect.
It feels like the plot of like a Lifetime or like a Hallmark movie, like those cheap ones that your mom watches. Like, and they never go to theater. They're just like made for TV or like direct to DVD. That's what this plot feels like. Because those films are all about like dangerous men hunting women. You know, this evil guy is like trying to kill these innocent women. It's like that exact plot, but it was like a high budget, like, or at least somewhat high budget film and whatnot.
They really thought they could set up the Madam Web cinematic universe.
No, I don't think anybody believed that.
Like that was never, because it has that vibe of, well, this is all about setting up the sequel movies. It's not about its own story. It's about, let's set up the heroes for the future ones. And it's like, but no one cares.
Personally speaking, I give this like one out of 10, like really low. But I recommend it to everybody out there to watch it. You know, we got to support trash like this. It's absolutely. Maybe go into a very empty theater or like somehow watch it in your house so you can burst out laughing at the acting. I did burst out laughing at like the last 5 seconds and be like, "Oh my gosh, this was a superhero movie! I completely forgot about that."
Maybe
the last like 10 seconds when they're showing the montage of their future selves and stuff.
What you could do is you could go to a cinema, pay to watch a better movie, and then just sneak into Madam Web instead or afterwards.
That's true. There's actually no rule against that unless the tickets are different prices due to matinee or IMAX. But yeah, like people do that. There's one guy for a YouTube video. I forget what film he had to watch, but it was like maybe it was Morbius, and he paid for the Everything All at Once movie instead. But then he just watched Morbius. Because you know,
everybody go watch
movie. I have one
Dune
question.
Part 2,
I have one quick question, Snake, because you watched
Web.
it. Yes. Sorry, what'd you say?
No, I said go watch Dune Part 2 and then go watch Madam Web. There you go. That's a great weekend schedule right there.
I do want to watch Dune Part 2. I like the first one actually.
I'm very excited for Dune Part 2. That's like one of the hypest movies of the year.
And for anybody watching this podcast to this far in, God bless you first off. But also, the Dune
doing
movies.
It for Tekken.
Yes, the Dune movies should be experienced in theater. Like, you need the scale. Like, it really helps the movie be better. It's not an at-home kind of movie. That's definitely a theater kind of movie. But also, I have a question, Sonic. Since you actually watched the movie, did Ezekiel do anything career-wise, or like did him getting powers benefit his life in any way? Because like
supposedly because he got the spider, and that made him rich, and because he took the spider,
so
from
he used the spider
Cassie's...
to get rich. Okay.
Yeah, but they're like saying, oh, you took the spider, that's gonna curse you now, and that's why he's getting those nightmares. That's kind of like how things go along with this character, in a way.
Oh yeah, we should also tell Snake the amazing line he says after killing all the reporters and scientists that are in the Amazon with him.
Okay,
what is it like? like, no, don't do this. And he's like, nobody saved me when my family was starving to death. And he's just like, leave.
And it's like,
something dumb like that.
Very interesting, Ezekiel. Would you like to elaborate?
So it sounds like the film has a real problem with just very explicit exposition. That's not weaved into the narrative in any natural way. It's just, hello audience, I will now speak my backstory to you.
But even then, it's not a backstory.
He was in the Amazon when my mama died. Yo, that's crazy. And then he's like, yeah, my family starved to death. That is why I am bad guy. And it's like,
by the way,
literally, imagine if like a Marvel film was written like a proper one. Like Tony's like, it's like you're Spider-Man. Yes, I got bitten by a radioactive spider, and my uncle was shot, and I learned an important lesson. With great power comes great responsibility. And now I'm Spider-Man, but my Aunt May does not know this, so please do not tell her, or she'll have a heart attack after what happened to Uncle Ben. Also, my parents died in a car crash or a plane crash or whatever the fuck in this continuity because Oz called
and we're
some
secret agents. And
Sorry,
have their own little spin-off comic series.
you just reminded me of another line in the movie. It's when Madam Web is trying to like finally start to learn her powers like an hour and 30 minutes through the movie. Like the one of the spider people like tells her blah 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 blah, and then you must learn this, and then once you take up the responsibility, great power will come. I literally like, slam my head on the table. I'm like, oh, no, that's how we implemented
that's backwards. No, they got it backwards.
That's the point. They want to make it different. Ooh. That's the point.
That's like implying that just because you oh my gosh.
When you take up great responsibility, great power will come to you.
Yes, but that almost makes it seem selfish. Like you're only taking up responsibility because you want powers, which defeats the entire purpose of like you wanted power, but now you're burdened with responsibility. They've got it literally backwards, not just in the way they delivered it, but like the whole moral of it all. Anyway, yeah, I wanted to tell Snake one more thing about Madam Web just for fun because this will make him like cringe super
hard.
One more thing.
Yeah. We're on Madam Web for quite a while.
You don't care about spoilers, right, Snake? You don't mind like the ending?
God, no.
You've been spoiling everything already.
I'm not gonna fucking watch this movie.
He knows the
death part,
but so
it's so good.
This is the one thing that if written correctly probably could have worked, and I only say that because when I was listening to the review and they revealed that part, I went, oh, that's kind of like that could have actually been interesting if done correctly. So Madam Web, despite being able to see the future, after killing Ezekiel, somehow doesn't see like this falling, burning debris from the sky from the same, I guess, incident, and it hits her square in like the eyes and like blinds her. So Madam Web is just blind now. This like poor woman is just blind now. But then it's like, oh, the big cool reveal, like when she's wearing these dumb red sunglasses or whatever, is that because her eyes don't work anymore and her brain's not focused on that, I guess, it awakened the future-telling powers completely, and now just constantly she can see the future. Like she's always directly connected to it. And it's like, oh, now I can always see the future. And that's why she smirks at the end, because like she's blind, but you can kind of see because you know your future like 100% like all the time. And it's like, oh shit. But
was there a post-credit scene? Was there a post-credit scene?
No, there actually isn't this time. There were
even though
it's not Marvel, it's Sony. So
even though this character because this character can see the future, you have the best excuse ever for it. She's just there. No. Oh, vision of the future of the next movie. I love the thought that they may have planned to do a post-credit scene, and the people making it were like, "This is never going to get a sequel," and they just removed it.
Like, what's the point?
Like, they didn't tell anyone; they just cut it. And keep an eye out. Maybe there's a bit where there's just like 30, 60 seconds of just black screen, so because they removed it without telling anyone, but they didn't want to change the runtime so people would notice. So like, black screen, no post-credit scene. That would be amazing.
Well, because now you're Madam Web. Now you're blind too and can't see anything.
Oh my gosh.
See, that's all. So, I got this great idea for a joke. You know how that one YouTuber Shah has been posting these like first-person clips for M1K.
Yeah.
Like, imagine that. It's like April Fool's comes up, first-person Kenshi gameplay, and it's like just the audio. Just a black screen for 5 minutes.
Oh my god, it just gave me a great idea. So like there's always those stupid videos, Snake, of like this thing, but you're blank. right? So, for example, Resident Evil 7, but you're the chair. It's like when she sits down on the, or whatever. It's like, so do that, but it's like Mortal Kombat 1, but you're Kenshi, and it's just the scenes that Kenshi is present for, but it's just black, so you just hear the audio.
It's just the story mode, but entirely black, basically.
Yeah,
with
the
Kenshi.
Mortal Kombat story mode, but you're Kenshi. It's just like black the whole time.
That actually sounds like an amazing April Fool's joke.
I mean, that's a clever way to censor the part where Melina stabs his eyes out. When she gets him, like, you cut to black in that moment, and on screen just put white text, Kenshi POV.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man, there is actually. So apparently, this Madam Web movie is supposed to take place in the Venomverse, right? So it could be possible. I think so. It's still Sony. It's the same thing as the Kraven movie and the Sinister Six they're trying to set up.
I'm so excited for Kraven. Lion powers, man.
Well, my point was, though, is that there is still a chance that these beautiful actresses could return in their awesome Spider-Girl outfits, and it's if they get the cameo in the Venom film for some reason. Because they're going to have to bank on a Venom 3. It's their only, only property that's done well. So they're going to have to bank on it. And that could be fun. And the Venom films understand, like, the comic book tone, like, to be silly and, like, embrace the comic book nature of it all. So they would be okay in that setting, like the Spider-Girls.
Yeah, fans love the Venom films, too. It's like they know that they're silly, and they kind of embrace that, which is, like, good for them. I do kind of wonder what Venom 3 is going to be about now that... Like, we don't see Spider-Man. Carnage is already in the second movie, so it's like...
I suspect they're going to try and cross it over with one of the Spider-Man universes.
Well...
Kind of like how Deadpool's coming over to the MCU. I feel like they're going to do something like that.
That'd be kind of smart, but they kind of already did that, and then they also just say, okay, bye-bye Venom, come back to our universe. Remember in that one post-credit scene?
Yeah, but he could always fight Andrew Garfield or something if they can get him back.
Yeah, I actually wouldn't mind seeing that, like Andrew Garfield with Venom. Like, I kind of want to see, like, that team up or that movie. Although it's coming out this year and there's no trailers for it yet. If it was Andrew Garfield, I don't think he would have been able to, like, shut up about that. So.
Come on, it's not Tom Holland.
Well.
Oh man,
anyway,
I love watching that guy just like mess that up all the time.
I love that story. The fact that Tom Holland is so bad at keeping his mouth shut that in all the press tours they always pair him with Benedict Cumberbatch because they know he can keep him in line.
Yes. He really did actually spoil some very funny things. I saw those interviews and stuff.
And what's that's adorable but also unforgivable because despite how Tom Holland looks, he's not a kid. Like, he's old enough to know how to, like, keep a secret. He just sucks at it. Like, he's just actually bad.
The interviewer
he's like 25 in some of those, like, things. Yeah.
It wasn't as bad as Mark Ruffalo's spoiler, which was really funny, too.
Well, Mark Ruffalo, I had nothing against him personally, but that guy is actually just dumb. Like, it's verifiably true that he's actually just stupid. But
I love just like it was like so it's like what was it? Yeah, like everyone dies and like, yo, whoa,
dude.
Not Wait, everyone dies.
I mess up sometimes. I forget his exact line when his hands are buried in his head.
Next to him being like, dude.
He says something like I say things without thinking sometimes or something like that. Sorry, Snake. We'll get on to Tekken. Snake's mad because we're not talking about Tekken yet.
Small off-topic thing, but like, Mark Ruffalo is so fucking good in Poor Things. If you want to see a very different and like amazing acted version of him, like he is really good in that movie as like a very like funny character too. So I highly recommend. If you want to see Mark Ruffalo in like acting different, that's a movie you can check out.
We then talk about Tekken for 2 hours, and now we're gonna end the episode. I fucking hate myself for making the continuity so messy.
Yeah, that was the Tekken episode. Overall, loving the game. I'm very excited to play more of it. Anything else we want to say, or should we end the episode?
Yeah, I'm done talking to you losers, so let's just...
Damn.
Well, Dog's normally the one who says all the mean shit for no reason to Sonic, so it's my turn. I want in on this.
It's time to be the heel. You guys are kinda cringe. Got him. Yeah. Take that.
You know what, Sonic? Screw you, okay? You started the downward spiral of the game that pays my rent. You are the thorn in my side. And I wish
Why
I
is it
never
me?
reached out to you. Snake does too, but he doesn't work fast enough. Like, you were actually like,
I'm
you're making
working
more videos more quickly, so you're speeding his downfall even faster.
Hey, my titles are called "A Doesn't Suck." Literally, I'm helping the situation. 7 months from now, I won't. But yeah,
I'll be honest. I thought Dog was gonna say that you like started the downfall of this channel.
Oh, this
That too. He did take my advice and break the videos into parts, so we always have something to post. Instead, we go on these month-long hiatuses, and people wonder where we are. No, I'm just kidding. You're fine.
No,
You're the
they
editor.
don't.
I can't complain
we have been
about
doing
that.
two per month actually. We're very on schedule.
Uh-huh.
No
Well,
one
we
wonders
almost
where we are. No
were
one
great though.
cares.
We were
What are you
almost
talking
great.
about?
We almost passed the other podcast that has like Justin Wong and Maximilian, dude. We almost reached their heights. We were like consistently getting like
At one point.
25,000
At one point,
on each video.
yeah.
That was epic.
We were almost there when Mortal Kombat 1 was released. It was a fun time.
Yeah, guys, it's your fault, viewers, for not sharing. The
Oh no, I gotta cut the video now. I gotta. That's how I'm gonna. That's how we end the episode.